Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Good morning. Thought I'd help you wake up.
It's 6 a.m. and you're listening to The John Kincade Show, Philadelphia's longest-running sports talk morning show. On 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Let the party begin!
The show starts now.
It begins 6 o'clock hour. The John Kincade Show gets rolling. 6 a.m. sponsor, Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White is here for the pro. Your Friday has arrived. Hasn't been a really great week for Philly sports, but we've got the draft now 13 days away. We've got the Sixers beginning the postseason tomorrow. So that's sort of a good reason to get excited. And the Phillies continue to struggle in Cincinnati. Another dud last night. I just put it as a dud. I wish that I had swingers bowling last night, Bob, because it would have been better than watching free swingers.
I can make my wife gag.
Not know how to handle themselves in Cincinnati over and over again.
Yeah, swingers bowling wasn't great last night. I had a poor performance. But
can you rebound? Can you rebound?
I don't know. I done messed up. I was halfway there, and I'm looking at the road, and I'm like, why are things so blurry? And it was because I forgot to put in my contacts.
Shot in your eye?
Oh, not good.
Okay.
Not good at all. Yes, okay. So it was a blurry night, but it looks like sometimes the Phillies don't have their contacts in either.
That was a horrendous night last night, and you're going to have them, but the Phillies have they've won 4 of their first 13, which is a bummer. Now they got to get this thing fixed at some point. Last year we were bitching and complaining when they were 7 games under 500. They're 5 games under right now. Let's see if this thing can't get turned around. Pat, how are you this morning?
Good. Tired.
Good and tired?
Yeah, same as you guys. Tired of bad baseball, but I think they'll right the ship.
So I was expecting you to be able to solve a mystery this morning. So I come up from the Wawa on Belmont, and there were at least 6 cop cars. 2 state troopers, 4 Lower Merion police, all with their lights on, and nobody pulled over.
Why didn't you pull over and ask them?
Because I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, just say, hey, I'm John Kincade, and
I'm hoping that
I
maybe
pay taxes. What the hell's going on here?
Maybe my cousin Joe who's part of the Lower Merion Police Force, will tell me what was going on. Send me a little message. It was like a SWAT standoff that you had to go across the yellow lines to get around it going up the hill. So I come into Bob. I'm like, okay, well, Pat will figure this out when he comes up, and you say no cop cars.
Wasn't a cop in sight.
Nowhere.
Nope.
So something happened this morning on Belmont. I don't know what happened, but something happened. And something happened big for them to be doing that. I'm wondering, a fugitive on foot, Bob? Maybe? Because there's no
I gotta say,
you
run into some of the most crazy things on your rides into work.
It's like this was.
I mean, he's got fugitives. He's got tornadoes only over his car. There's cars spinning out everywhere. Everywhere he goes, there's spin outs. There's people going 300 miles an hour past him that makes his car shake as he's coming into the office. I'm going to ride in with you one day just to enjoy the adventures that you get.
I want to get a. Where do you get the little camera things that you can mount?
Cam?
Yeah, because I would love to do.
There's a new site called Amazon.
No, I would love to do the.
I have one in my car.
Do you really?
Our son Bobby got it for all of us for Christmas. I haven't put it together and on yet, but yeah, I do have one.
Supposedly they're great if you ever get in an accident.
I'm going to give it to you because I would
proof like to try
of all these things that happen to you on your way into work.
I want to know if someone from the Lower Merion Police knows what the hell was going on this morning right up from the Wawa. I want to know because it looked like
maybe there was a donut sale.
No. It was. That's terrible, by the way.
What?
Everybody loves donuts.
Yeah, I'd pull over.
Well, why
for a
would police be involved?
There was a sign that said giant.
They're working early.
Somebody knows what went on this morning on Belmont or saw it. So if you have any information, please share it with me. In the morning Mindbender, Coach wants to share. He said this number seems low, but just 7% of American adults between 16 and 25 say their parents pay this for them. What is it?
Cell phone bill.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a
it
great
says
one.
7% of American adults.
Between 16 and 25.
You're not an adult at 16.
Well,
You're not an adult until
2
you're
years.
18.
Say their parents
This is
pay this for
crap.
them. What is it? Phone bill's a great one, Pat.
Pay this for them.
Pay this for them.
16 is driving
I'll go
age.
car insurance because it's
Yeah,
16.
that's what I was thinking. Too.
See, there you go.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I stole it, Bob. You said 16, and immediately the light bulb went. Car insurance. Coach?
Pat was correct. It is, in fact, the cell phone bill.
The cell phone bill.
That's low.
I think that's low also.
Real low.
Like, parents don't have their kid on their cell phone bill while they're... To what age?
Where'd you get this information, Coach? I don't.
Well, you
believe
said
it.
it's low.
I don't believe you.
We need the Lower Marion Police here to
We need the
arrest
Lower
you.
Marion Police right here
They
to
were
be able to
probably
swarm in.
investigating the cell phone situation this morning
Who is
when John drove by.
Who is doing that? Who is making their kid? Seriously, their 16-year-old has to pay their cell phone bill. That's that's not very cool.
I think all 4 of my kids are still on our cell phone bill.
I was gonna ask
Yeah.
how many, if any of your kids are on your plan.
She's on our plan. She's 19, and it costs $25 a month.
I didn't get my own plan until I was 21.
Yeah, we have all of our kids are on, and so is my mother-in-law.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, though, you can get these plans where it's like $25. It's $25 for Liv because we have the 2 of us. We add her, it's 25. So it doesn't add, I mean, come on now. Parents, step up
Come on, Coach.
a little bit.
I call BS on this though. 7%.
You should.
Coach, where did you get this information?
I made it up.
In the elevator?
That's
no,
not
I
good.
just made it up.
7% of American adults say their parents pay this for them. Well, no, that means 93 do. So I could believe that.
Coach, why does your
93% do. So that's
16-year-olds.
93% of kids between 16 and 25 pay their own cell phone?
No, 93 of their parents do.
No.
Is it?
Only 7% say their parents pay
Yes.
this for them.
Oh, that's crap.
Yeah,
There's no
I
way
don't
that
know,
number.
Coach.
I think the number's flipped.
does Cam pay his own cell phone bill?
Come on, Cam. He better be able to do it.
He does, doesn't he? Because you want to teach him the lesson of hard work.
Get a job, kid. You're 10.
Now, when Liv gets her 6-month envelope, she'll get this in her. She'll have that, but not till then. Don't have to do that. When you're 16 years old, my gosh, that's a little rough.
I don't know, Coach.
You are supposed to be responsible for your child until they're 18.
This is the most doubt I've ever had in you, Coach.
That's an ugly one. So, is there any danger, Bob, to an entire fan base looking past a playoff opponent? Because the Nets are getting absolutely no respect.
I'll tell you, and doing the show with Anthony, the roundtable yesterday,
Which was very good, by the way. You guys had some great chatter.
It was fun. Nobody's overlooking them more than Anthony. And I even said it to him one time before I went on his show. I said, "Yo, dude, you got to look at Nets.
No, it's all Boston."
I think the Sixers should win this one pretty handily, but my God, I've never seen a team overlooked as much as we are overlooking the Brooklyn Nets. But rightfully so, probably because to a man, if we run around this city, people listening right now, I don't think there's very many people that have it going past 5, maybe 6. But that's it. They should win this one handily. If they don't, there's big problems in River City.
Anthony's just talking Boston.
Yeah, he's going right to
Boston.
Boston.
He's already into it's a Boston. And by the way, it is the truth. His passion for hatred of Boston, of the Celtics, is it's so admirable. Pat, it's Egan-esque when you talk about Anthony and his dislike of the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, sports hate is good.
It is good.
It's good. I overlooked the Atlanta Hawks a couple years ago.
I remember that video you made.
Really bad. Really overlooked them. With all that said, I haven't learned my lesson because the Brooklyn Nets are going to get it. It's going to be bad.
And they were second round
I completely
series.
overlooked. I'm not gonna play. 2 years ago you overlooked. Oh no. Like, this is the first round. You're the 3 seed. You're really, really good. The Brooklyn Nets are going through a change in guard.
They are.
And they're trying to usher in kind of a new culture, but that takes time. No, the Brooklyn Nets know that they're going to lose this series. I mean, they're not really going to have much for the Sixers.
It takes away the juice, though, Bob. Like the playoffs open tomorrow, and it doesn't feel like the playoffs open tomorrow because Everybody is just assumed. Everybody's moved on already to Boston.
I think the Sixers win this one handily, but I don't just look past it. Like, I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm excited for tomorrow. Devon and I are going to do a pregame show starting at 12 tomorrow. Like, it's going to be fun. Because why? It's fun to win playoff games.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so it's fun to do all that stuff. I think they win this handily, but I can't overlook.
You're talking about the series, not necessarily the game, the series. They win handily.
I think they win handily tomorrow, too. I think they come out to prove a point tomorrow.
That'd be awesome.
I do. I really think they're playing downhill tomorrow, and it should be good to go.
You feel it, Pat? You feel the same thing, that it's like everybody's just looked on to Boston?
Yeah. It's
understandable.
It's not even just a Boston thing. It's everyone's been looking forward to the second round for the entire season. So I think that's part of it, too, is this whole narrative of just get me to the second round. Let's see if they can finally get out of the second round. No one's thinking about the first round because in the NBA, we talked about yesterday, when you're a top 3 seed, you don't worry about losing in the first round. You just don't. It's kind of a rite of passage. You're a top 3 seed, you pretty much go right to the second round.
It's a rite of passage, huh?
It is. When you get to the top 3 seeds.
I like that.
It does seem that way.
What was the last top 3 seed that lost?
I don't know.
Not in a first round series. It seems like it doesn't happen.
It doesn't really happen.
I just like hearing you say rite of passage.
Well, you'll hear it again because it's a rite of passage, Bobby.
That's very, very good. By the way, I know Pat will always remember Nifty 50s.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I could go for
he loves
them.
them.
50s right now.
A 10-time Best of Philly winner. Pat helped that.
20.
Nifty 50s restaurant with 7 and soon to be 8 locations online at nifty50s.com. Yeah, if Nifty 50s rolled in this morning with some of those waffle sandwiches, today I'd be able to have one.
Throwing elbows. I'm absolutely throwing some bows to get some waffles.
It really looked amazing. Jimmy Lynam actually, Bob, looked at it with longingly.
Was he tearing into it a little bit?
No, he didn't. He really didn't.
No?
No.
He really didn't. Coach Lynam was all business.
Yeah, he's
talking hoops.
Very reserved.
He's talking hoops. And boy, did he entertain the troops last week at our first Friday show, which was great. Jamie Lynch joins us today for the Daily Odds Pod, representing Bet Parks. Jamie will be with us today around 8 o'clock. Got to check that Daily Odds Pod out. As Pat said, it's a great dog walking podcast.
It's great, yep.
Lots of upcoming games, props, and features. And with the NBA playoffs coming this weekend, lots of things to get into there. I'm going to do some parlay on series. And it's not going to be sexy or anything like that, but I'm going to go with some of the series props and parlays. A couple of the series winners, because there's not really a lot of drama with a lot of these series.
No, not really. Tonight should be a little bit fun with the 2 playing games, kind of, sort of, I guess.
To see who's the 8 seed?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, it's win or go home, so
that's the
cool.
way. That's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah, it's the only way to look at it, right?
It's win or go home, because there really isn't that level of drama otherwise with it. All quiet on the Howie front. Nothing. I thought we'd hear something. I thought we'd be hearing something, some rumor, nothing. Now the Buda Baker stuff starts to pop up. Because Buda Baker, I guess, wants out of Arizona. Guess Jonathan Gannon isn't to his liking.
Yeah.
A 26-year-old safety. Well, we had a 25-year-old safety that was better than Buda Baker last year. And we let him go. So I don't know why you'd be going after Buda Baker.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised that it's been all quiet on the Howie front. But
nothing.
Isn't that, like, Pat, I think you'll agree with me on this. Isn't that when you know Howie's doing something, when it's really quiet? You know, usually it's kind of like that haymaker, like, oh, man, there it is.
The out of left field move.
Yeah. And if you think about it last year, about how late everything was done, and we've gone through the dates before, about how late they made signings and trades and all of those things. So he's probably in that office squirreled up for about 20 hours out of the 24-hour day, and he's got something going on. We just don't know about it. And if there's one thing the Eagles have been really good at this offseason, they're not leaking anything.
No, there isn't. That whole building is on lockdown. Adam Schefter did tell us a few weeks ago that he knew about the Eagles were interested in potentially trying to go grab a A.J. Brown, but he didn't know how real it was.
Right.
But he mentioned to us that, he'd heard that, that there was some interest, but it was amongst, he says you hear 100 things before the draft. And I'm wondering if I'd love to hear 100 things coming out of NovaCare. Well, maybe we don't. If they're going to be big splashes like with A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need to hear them.
It's rare that you hear rumblings of a big move by Howie.
Yeah,
and I'll go all the way back. Sorry, Pat. I'll go all the way back to the Super Bowl year. You know, the year that they picked up J.J. in the middle of the season.
That was like Halloween weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were sitting here. We were on the show, and we got word of it, and we started going crazy. Oh, my God, they're really going for this thing.
And they did.
And they did, and there was not a rumbling about it. Right, Pat?
Yeah, no, looking back at their big moves that they've made, their big acquisitions via trade, you never really hear anything about it. I'm trying to think about the last one that kind of leaked out beforehand that they had interest in. I'm kind of hard-pressed to find one.
I don't remember either.
A.J. Brown, whether it be C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Robert Quinn.
No, we really didn't know.
J.J., as you talked about, Bob. Yeah, you don't really hear a lot about the Eagles being involved with this guy, that guy. And in fact, the guys that we always hypothesize about, they never get. So Budda Baker, cross him off the list because he's talked about. He ain't coming here.
No.
Look somewhere else.
Go looking elsewhere.
Jeremy Chin's up.
We will hear about we're going to hear about something that could be a key to winning the first round series from Bob regarding the Sixers and the Nets coming up. Obviously, more on the Phillies and their mighty struggles as the starting pitching has just been absolutely freaking horrendous to start the season. But also, too, would you be all right if Howie was all in on this as we approach the NFL draft weeks? John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. You know, if you're planning on hiring a lawn care service, you look like you're grabbing a...
I just got pegged. So Connor and I have a thing where we try to hit each other with the ball before you go, and he snuck around the back on me, John. He popped out from around the corner and pegged me right in the stomach.
Do you know what pegging is?
Oh, stop it. When we were kids and you hit somebody with a ball, you call it.
Those days aren't here anymore. You're not kids anymore.
It's not a kid's...
Yeah.
Not a kid's...
I'm trying for your sake. Don't go around saying I got pegged. And I don't judge. Like, I'm not kink shaming here, Bob. You do what you want to do.
There
during
might
the
be an
breaks. There's 7
investigation.
minutes. That's enough time to do whatever it is you guys do. But if you guys have a little game, I would refer to it a different way.
What the hell happened here today? Like, all of a sudden, you're the grown-up? Are we role-playing?
I think you're... And there's another thing. Now we're role-playing. And we don't shame. Once again, you want to peg people. You want to kink shame.
You want to
I'm
role-play.
not that guy, but if that's your thing, hey, who am I to judge?
Look your best, feel your best. Bob.
Oh, no. Drummond.
Oh, yeah, Andre Drummond.
Andre
yeah.
Drummond?
And those pics are fun to look at.
Yeah.
Hey, not Andre Drummond. Her.
No, it's you won't
the
see
size
Andre
difference.
Drummond in her. Well, okay.
Whoa,
Pat!
I didn't know Freudian
Wait a
slip.
second, hold on.
You're not going to see Andre Drummond in the pictures. That's what I meant to say.
Uh-huh.
My gosh, I hope not.
What I originally said, though,
Come
what
on,
I originally
Pat.
said was accurate, though. My point is, you're just going to see Jeanette McCurdy.
Okay.
She's attractive.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Are there toys there?
Yes!
Yeah, I've seen this.
There were toys
Yeah.
on full display
Yeah.
in aisle 9.
It kind of shocked me, too, the first time I saw it.
There are children that are at eye level of all of this stuff.
They shouldn't be there.
In aisle in a CVS, there's
Everybody
lots of kids
knows
in a CVS.
aisle 9 is the horny aisle.
Wait, I thought that we were actually talking about kids' toys.
No!
No,
No.
Pat.
And now I'm finding out that it's...
No, Pat, it's toys.
I think the teenagers probably walk by it and go, look. I don't think like a 7 or 8 year old's walking by that.
The big question I have is, how many did you buy?
I remember once having to buy an item that young men sometimes buy, and I remember driving 5 or 6 miles out of my way because I did not want to go into any place where I shopped.
My name is John Kincade. Great to meet
That's
you.
it, you did.
I'm here to have sex.
Whoa.
You know what every girl needs? I can't even do this.
What
A good HVAC system.
Gonna come over to my place and see
Yes.
the HVAC system?
Yes, they do because they want to be comfortable. This is good. This shows you're a responsible homeowner.
Learn about their 0%.
You're heating
This
up
is
my
good.
heart like Dylan heats up
Financing
my
offer
water.
at DillingHVAC.com.
Next year.
Why are you looking at negative? Don't look at
No, I'm saying
negative.
is
They're
because-
bringing it back. It's good. They're bringing back. We were so nervous about them losing all these players. They didn't lose all these players. They brought them back. The defense that you so lauded last year that you loved. That you just wanted to, caress Jonathan Gannon about. They brought those guys back.
Is Gardner
You're
Johnson
afraid of
back?
losing
Did I miss?
Bradbury.
Wait. Did I miss that?
All right. Oh my God.
No, I'm
Seriously?
saying is
you're going
I
to look
would
at that.
no.
Not yet. He's not.
I would have moved on from Slay.
But
And
you
I'm glad
still
that,
might
I'm
get
glad
Gardner
to have him back.
Johnson.
I'm glad to have Slay back. If it is,
You don't sound like you're glad.
If it's a great deal, it's fine.
What do
would've-
you care about the deal?
Because I do care about the
Why?
deal.
It's
because
not
it's
your
a salary
money.
cap sport.
See, here we go. You made no sense yesterday in your Fletcher Cox not wanting him
Okay.
back, but you wanted Linval Joseph.
Okay.
Don't worry about the Bills. You don't have to pay him, buddy.
I'm not doing
Don't worry
that.
about it.
I'm not going to end up with Tom Selleck at my door. I don't want to see salary cap hell next year.
Coach and Egan are telling people around here that I'm the chair picker, and it's utterly false, and it
was the
pisses
truth.
me off. I'm not the chair picker.
So-
I've sat down in chairs that are picked, and if there's a piece dangling, I'll take it off because it interferes with my arm. I am not the chair picker.
Look, here's the chair I sit in.
Okay.
That is not me.
Heck, now this chair, this is the most popular chair, the one with the ring on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
I have never, ever, not once in 5 years here picked anything off of a chair.
Can someone go look at Jamie's chair right now and tell me what it looks
It's
like?
completely fine.
It's all
That chair is pick. I never sat in it once. So there goes your damn case, Egan. And Coach, you're guilty too, spreading libel.
Sure.
You'll hear from my attorney.
That's fine.
These guys are right. I said he's becoming, about Jason Tatum becoming a superstar. I meant to say we've watched him become a superstar.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Nah,
But,
you don't know basketball.
yeah, I don't.
He didn't even watch
It's-
Eddie.
It's fine.
He didn't even watch
you haven't
Eddie.
watched Eddie.
That's bad. It's. I know. I
People
keep
are
that off
talking
my
far and
resume.
wide.
It's not good.
It's a whisper campaign.
It's
It's starting to take hold.
and
Bob.
we had a meeting about that.
With
where it
John
was
Morant
like-
was there.
We didn't want to call you out, Bob, but we
Wants to. You look like you're grabbing a
I just
97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
It's a word you don't hear often. Bob just talking to Pat. Splendid.
It's a good word.
It's a rich person's word.
Is it? Well, then I don't know why
think
I
like
used it.
Like I think it sounds a little uppity, Pat. Like splendid.
I don't think so. I haven't heard it in succession.
Oh, that is the truth.
If I haven't heard it in that show, maybe just it went by the wayside with the upper crusty group.
The upper crust has decided not to use splendid anymore.
Yeah, maybe they just they associate it with Splenda.
Yes, and you don't want to use Splenda.
Is it bad for you?
If you have joint pain, it is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If you have any kind of like hip pain, joint pain, they tell you to stay away from the Splenda.
That's good.
Really?
Knowledge.
Stay away from the yellow. Yes, because people can be allergic to it.
I didn't know.
So
that.
you learn something new every day about the Splenda.
I don't do Splendid often. I don't know why it just came out when I was talking to Pat.
Because you thought it was a splendid read. And
Pat
it's a good
said
word.
it was horrible. I said I thought it was splendid. Now that I keep saying the word splendid, it feels weird coming out of my mouth, so I'm not going to say it anymore, Pat.
Come on, Pat. Pat, you're supposed to build Bob up.
I am.
So what are you doing? You're trying to challenge him?
Well, it's like
What are you, John
it's like the
Chaney?
Phillies. Like we're not going to sit here and say, oh, you're doing great.
Man.
Keep it up. We're going to sit there and be like, yo, you can be better.
Pat knows that sometimes you got to pat the butt, and other times you got to kick the butt. So he just kicked mine. Yeah.
Could we
You say kick or lick?
Oh, please.
Ew, God.
Oh, my God. Hey, Jamie will join us in the 8 o'clock hour today. Jamie is coming to us courtesy of our friends at Bet Parks. By the way, Jamie will be out there at Bet Parks tomorrow afternoon.
Way to go, Jamie.
Before the
we're 9 to noon.
9 to noon, right?
Yeah.
9 to noon. So is it the Wake Bake and Cake?
No, Wake is off.
Wake is off.
Wake is off, so it's just me and James.
It's you and James.
Couple of soy boys in the morning.
Nice.
Telling you.
Grab your lattes, gentlemen. Let's go.
I thought you were the Wake and he.
I'm the
Wake.
cake.
You're
It's
the
really
cake.
It's really the bacon cake, I guess.
There we go. Hey, you can listen to Jamie's Daily Odds pods, courtesy of our friends at Bet Parks. And obviously, as we get ready for the NBA playoffs, lots of exciting storylines to get fired up for and everything. The elimination games tonight, it's the 8th seed games. Tonight is the second, I guess, of the play-in games. The other night was the more of the elimination games. Tonight, how much of that will get your time tonight?
Phillies will be
Miami?
one. Yeah, Phillies will be one, and then switching over to that will be number 2 up until 10 o'clock, and then my show comes on. So, I have to go to Blue Bloods after that. But
By the way, renewed
I'll
for
keep an eye
another
on it.
year next year.
Are they? Wow, they're just going to keep doing it until people die off.
That
I
show is
guess, right?
seriously. That show is living on incredibly, but it gets
It's like Grey's Anatomy.
oh my gosh.
When that thing started, I never would have thought we would be year 20.
And they don't even have the main character anymore, do
No,
they?
they lost.
No,
That,
they've gotten rid of all of them,
that
haven't
show's
they?
Teflon. Like it just
It's unbelievable.
doesn't matter who they lose. They still got their audience.
I thought the major core of that show is every one of them are gone.
I think so. I think you're right.
They've now gone. That little Patrick Dempsey. Pat, by the way,
Dreamy.
I think you're taller than Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah, I wish,
I have raced cars against him.
huh?
We were at we had a charity event in Atlanta, and he was part of it at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and he was there, and he is
cool.
small. He's really small, like really, really small. I'm thinking
Maybe he's big where it counts.
I think it's he might be,
His heart.
but I don't know if they had to have like really small women with him, be like the actresses that they had with him, because I've never seen a smaller actor
Really?
than Patrick Dempsey.
Well, let's look and see how
He's
tall
small.
he is.
I don't know how I don't know how big he is.
I'll bet you he's bigger than you think he is.
You think so? What would you say?
I don't know.
5'6"?
I barely know who Patrick Dempsey is.
Yeah, exactly. What was he? Pat was McDreamy.
Yeah.
He was McDreamy.
Yeah. Cool.
So he was a small dude, but loves the car racing. Very big fan of the car
So was
racing.
Frankie Muniz.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't remember any of Malcolm in the Middle,
What do you mean he doesn't
had, like, a
remember?
brain
yeah, he had
injury.
some. Yeah.
Really?
but he
Patrick Dempsey is 5 feet 9 and 1/4 inches tall. I'm
No
sorry,
way.
Pat.
that's a giant kill to be
No
5'9".
way.
Yeah.
That's like Drew
love
Brees
that.
is 6 foot.
I'd love, but even then, I mean, at 5'9", let's bump
Yes.
him down in 3
Yeah, that's
inches.
right.
He's 5'6".
Frankie Munoz, get back to this thing.
Yeah, so he can't. He doesn't remember any of Malcolm in the Middle.
That's horrible.
He had like a brain injury, but he loves race cars.
Was he in an accident or something, or did he have some illness?
No, I think I don't quite remember. I don't want to just speak out of turn, but I don't know.
I've never
That's
seen
never
it.
stopped me before, but sports. But yeah, with this particular situation, I'm not quite sure why he doesn't remember, but he doesn't. It was either an accident or an illness, one or the other. But he doesn't. But his free time now is all spent racing cars.
I've never seen him and Sean Payton in the same room.
Frankie Muniz?
Yeah.
You think they look?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think they look anything
I
alike.
think Frankie Munoz and Sean Payton. I always saw Sean Payton when I saw him. I did not watch that show, not one episode.
What?
Malcolm in the
Middle. Never
I
saw
used to
that.
watch it.
Did not watch that.
So Patrick Dempsey's wife is 5 feet 6 inches tall, and he has a few inches on her. So 5'9" looks to be correct.
I don't believe he's 5'9". I'm going to have to. That's
Proof
like
is in the pudding.
Well, that's
John.
like the Drew Brees is 6 foot stuff. Drew Brees isn't 6 foot. If you've ever stood next to Drew Brees, he's not 6 foot. Michael Vick is not 6 foot. And they would say Michael's 6 foot. Mike's not 6 foot. There is I think people are, like, Pat, what are you, 5'8" on your bio? What do we list?
5'3".
Well, say Pat legitimately keeps his height out
5'3".
there. He legitimately goes with his height.
I mean, I only weigh 135 pounds though.
All ice cream?
Yeah, then don't just trust me on that. Let's
or
not pull out
Jimmy's.
scales. Let's just trust me
Or
on that.
Jimmy's. Hey, your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with their easy-to-use mobile app. You can learn more at progressivecommercial.com. So in 2 weeks, we'll be reviewing the first round of the draft. And we'll be previewing the second and third rounds. And there's a lot of speculation. And it seems like a lot of people around the Eagles draft that cover the Eagles all full-time believe that there's a chance that 3 defensive guys could go off the board with the Eagles' first 3 picks. With the 2 first-round picks and the second-round pick, that they could go defense on all 3 of them. Would you buy into the strategy of loading up and being all in on defense in this year's draft? 3 picks in the first 2 rounds.
I mean, yeah, because that's what you need right now. Your offense hasn't changed from last year, and it was one of the most productive offenses in the league last year. Your defense was great last year, and you lost a lot of players. So why wouldn't you look to fill those holes? It would seem to be obvious.
That you would do there. That all 3. I'll be floored. I'd put $20 down saying they will not go defense 3 times. I don't think they'll do a top-heavy draft like that.
I'll be shocked if they do that.
Yeah, I would be. But a lot of the Eagles beat writers that are covering the draft seem to be looking towards defense, potentially defense in the first 3 picks. And I figure they know a hell of a lot more than I do. Their eyes are on it every single day. They're talking to people and everything like that. And this could be. Maybe this is the year they stock up on defensive players. Next year, they have a first-round pick and 2 second-round picks coming their way. So that next year, they're free to get back to whatever normally they would want to do. And I would guess that Howie's going to pick up something probably towards next year's draft, too, to load it up a little bit.
Could. Yeah.
I wouldn't be. I don't know that I'm anti the idea, but it would surprise me if they did it.
I don't think I would be surprised. Think about it. If they go first 3 picks, defensive line, edge rusher, corner, whatever it may be, and then they come back with more offense later on, a wide receiver, a backup tight end, whatever it may be, we're gonna be satisfied. We're gonna say, okay, they hit everything they needed to hit. I do think the obvious thing would be to go all defense. Because that's where your holes are.
It could remake the defense dramatically.
You don't have a starting linebacker. You don't have starting safeties. And I'm talking about people that have started in this league before. You're thin at the defensive line. There's plenty of holes to be filled on that defense. Offensively, you're pretty okay. Think about
yes,
what do you need offensively?
I
don't know. Like nothing that pops into my head saying, oh, in the first 3 rounds, you have to plug this hole offensively. A third wide receiver. I told you before, I'm all right with Quez Watkins, but another wide receiver, okay. A running back, all right, maybe.
Hey, we looked forward to the Sixers and the Nets, and in Cooney's corner, he thinks there's a key to the series that isn't just important beating the Nets.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's corner.
Yeah, I'm going to give a preview of this series coming up in a little while, but I think this little preview that I'm giving you now, it's safe to say I will give it for every series that the Sixers are in, no matter how many there are.
It's like an appetizer
coming up in this playoff run. They can't give up easy baskets. I've never seen it. I shouldn't say never. I've rarely seen a team that is hurt by easy baskets as much as this team. I don't mean hurt in that it beats them all the time. It hurts as far as momentum, as far as the way they're looking to play the game. And by easy baskets, I mean, are they giving wide open jump shots away? We've seen it so many times this year where teams dribble drive, kick out. It's not just open, wide open. And if that one's not, the next pass is. That can't happen. Can't happen in the playoffs. Can't allow wide open jump shots. Just no. And if guys are dribble driving, you can't allow easy layups. You can't allow guys to just drive the lane and float up and, okay, there it is. No big deal. Joel Embiid is going to have to be that rim protector 48 minutes a game, every playoff game. That's scary because that allows him to get in foul trouble or the possibility of him getting in foul trouble. Their guards need to stop penetration. Doc Rivers talked about it last week. It is the kick-all, be-all for offenses against this Sixers team. If they get good dribble drive penetration and are allowed to score easy that way or are allowed to kick out because defenders are helping too much in wide-open jump shots, it's going to kill this team. And another way, John, transition defense has to be there. I don't know how many times you say this is not a good transition defensive team, the 76ers. Turnovers, rebounds, you can't allow teams to get out and get easy baskets against you. And it's such a problem for the Sixers that the Nets are out there openly talking about it right now. Yeah, they're a team we can score on but just by running down the floor. They don't get back on defense. Key to it is you'll see so many times an outlet pass made. If I'm getting back on defense and I'm a 76er, I have to continue to get back. I can't make my step towards the basketball when another team is going in transition because too many times they're getting caught up the floor, the Sixers are. Embiid, when he's down low, he's not going to get back for you, so you have to make up for that by everybody else getting back. Key to this series, every series that the Sixers play moving forward, and people know what I'm talking about. It's not this easy of a thing. No easy baskets continually for the offensive team.
What did you learn yesterday during the roundtable when you were sitting there chopping it up with Anthony and Devon and having that discussion of this series that maybe you hadn't thought of leading into the series?
I think we were all kind of on the same page. It was pretty cool. Yeah,
it did seem pretty consistent.
Yeah,
that there's almost like a belief that there's no way that the Nets could beat them.
Yeah, I think stopping Mikal Bridges is a cool thing that they have because I think the Sixers have the individual personnel to do that. In P.J. Tucker, that's why you brought him here, to be that guy. So I would start him on Mikal Bridges right off the bat. And then you have the Jalen McDaniels, and then you have the long bodies. You can throw Tobias Harris on them, too. You have lengthy bodies, this Sixers team does, to try to combat what Mikal Bridges is. If Mikal Bridges is going off for 35, 40 points a game, I hate to say it, I'm okay with that. That means that they're solely relying on him, and you're probably not getting beat by the Spencer Dinwiddies or the Joe Harrises of the world.
But does that mean that? Does that mean then that they haven't done their job where you're putting one person on him to P.J. Tucker and saying shut down him? That if he's getting 35, 40, is P.J. not doing his job? Or
well, it could be a case where they're looking for him and only him.
Okay,
and nobody else is going to hurt you, and the Nets know that nobody else can hurt the 76ers. And it could be a case where Doc Rivers says, if we're going to play good defense, it has to be on the ball defense. Okay, P.J. Tucker, here you are, Jalen McDaniels, you have him. He's a really good offensive player, but at the same time, everybody else is covering the three-point line. So maybe you're giving up twos as opposed to giving up threes. It's a poison that Doc Rivers and the team are going to have to figure out.
I'm Pat. The confidence almost makes me a little anxious.
Oh, it makes me not.
No, not at all.
The first round, no. And
again,
it's-
first rounds.
It does take the wind out of the sails a little bit because it's supposed to be the playoffs. You're supposed to get pumped up for this, but no, I'm not anxious at all.
Because I don't want to be that fan that's like, yeah, wake me when the second round happens. Because first playoff series are very exciting. They're fun. Last year, the Toronto one I think was a little too exciting. The fact that they had to go to a fourth quarter of a game 6 and it was still anxious time until around 5 minutes to go.
Well, and then you had the game-winning shot too by Embiid,
which was awesome. What was game
Turnaround
3,
jumper,
right?
Yeah, it was probably closer than any of us wanted it to be.
Well, you were up 3 games to. Were you up 3 games to none? And then lost 2 games, and then you lost 2 games. You lost game 4, and then you came home and wet the bed in game 5.
Yeah, when did he get the thumb injury?
That was before the series started.
Before
right?
the series, yeah, I think he carried that in with him.
Oh.
Yeah, tomorrow's a game to me. Like I say this all the time, John. You're probably sick of hearing it. You got to just look inward. I don't care who the opponent is. It's a first-round opponent. Yeah, it's the Brooklyn Nets, blah, blah, blah. You have to be solely concerned of what the 76ers do tomorrow. Solely dialed in on how they're playing. What does their defense look like? Are they getting Tyrese Maxey involved? Are they playing on their toes and not back on their heels? Is the defense look like, they're getting out on the ball and they're also covering rotation-wise very well in that there are no wide-open jump shots? Like, I'm not kidding. If I'm Doc Rivers, that's my speech tomorrow. I don't give a crap who the opponent is. You have to play your game. You do that, you win this by 20. But we have to play our game and our game as well as we can play it. And if they do that, not only this series, I think we can have a nice little ride here.
Bob, you are so right. You're so right. I'm sick of hearing that.
See,
you pulled a me.
How's it feel?
Wow.
I finally did it.
Yeah,
all right,
that's horrible.
Coach, so we got a
wasn't
big
good.
day on the Fanatic tomorrow. So we have the Sixers. Everybody's going to want to be, tuned in for the Sixers game. And we've got Union tomorrow. That's a busy day of broadcasting.
It's going to be fun. Isn't that fun when you go back to back?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, that app popped up all day long.
Yep.
You're listening in, and you start out with Pat in the morning,
Well, I mean,
which really gets you going.
nah.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, we'll see.
It's like it sounds.
No,
like
I
it'd be
love
fun.
listening to Pat on Saturday mornings.
It is. It's
In the
fun.
summertime, I'll be outside. I've even
Makes one
called him.
person.
I go outside. I'll do some cleanup in the yard. I got Pat on, Pat and Tunis, or whoever Pat's on with in the morning tomorrow, Jamie. I love it. That's a great way to start your Saturday. Thank you, Pat.
That's good.
Thanks for being you, Pat.
I think the station's thought was we're going to set the bar super low.
You think
And
that's
then-
what it
and then
was?
slowly throughout the day, that bar will rise.
Well, we needed somebody.
We needed bodies.
We needed somebody to come in early.
So basically, I'm Cody Clemens.
Pat's up
Yeah.
early.
By the way, that's one of the things that's driving me crazy early on. And again, it's 4 and 9. I'm not gonna freak out.
Oh, you're not all Cody
But-
Clemens up?
I hate Rob Thompson's lineups. Why is Brandon Marsh not in the frickin' lineup every frickin' day? He is. They said, and I went back and found 2 quotes. We're going to give him a chance to play every day to see what he can do. And they're not doing it. They're not doing it. And Rob Thompson, these are his own words, that during spring training, we are going to give Brandon Marsh every chance to play every day. And they're not doing it. I have no idea why.
Yeah,
Why
I'd
are
give
you-
him more time.
Come on. Like, seriously, what are we doing here? And why am I even seeing Cody Clemens? Why? There's just to me, stay with a lineup. If you want Bowman first, if you think he's the guy, put Sosa in I'll take Sosa every day for now. I'll take Brandon Marsh in the lineup every single day. I'll take some lineup stability and hope that something can get going here.
I can't say I disagree with you. I would like to have Marsh out there more.
Why would you not? He's doing the job. I mean, like, Bob, if he wasn't doing the job, I'd get it. But he's doing it. And he's a dynamic young player. And more importantly, see what you got. You want him to be an everyday player. You're thinking he can be your everyday player. Give him a chance to do it. I don't understand it. Christian Pache, I understand they're trying to give him a look.
Why?
At this point, that's what I'm
the
at.
guy's a 154 career hitter. What the hell do you think you're going to see out of him?
They thought they could get a Greg Long salvage job is all I can figure. And by the way, I'm not speaking from a position of knowledge of that. That's all I can think of is that they said he's a solid defensive player. And they thought if we could get Greg Long to work with him, we can maybe
Chris Long.
Chris Long,
Kevin Long.
Kevin Long, excuse me.
We're getting all
if
our
we
Longs
wait a minute,
confused.
if we
Howie
get
Long.
Chris
You said
Long,
Greg, I said
now
Chris.
wait a minute.
and
If we
it ends
get
up being
Chris
Kevin.
Long to work with him, I might be in on it.
It's a prime example why we got to break because we're getting our long. We got to break, huddle up, and get our long.
I think Chris Long could do it. I think he could help him. Pat has a perfect scenario for the Eagles in the draft. He better deliver on this one. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Everybody with the nice weather has been out working on. People to put mayonnaise in their coffee.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, not doing
that.
it. No, not doing
I can make my wife gag by taking a
Okay. Okay. Tell me more,
what is-
bud.
Oh, God. Pat just grabbed
Let
that.
me finish. By just grabbing
What?
a spoon.
She's trying
Listen, a spoon and a glop of mayonnaise and showing it to her like I'm going to eat it. It makes her. It makes her gag.
Okay, we have to end the show right here. Oh, man. Hey, not every
It was
contestant.
full on lips.
to. Yeah, I've heard about it.
Richard.
It's weird. I don't know what to tell you.
Do you have a lip kisser among your friends?
No.
No.
Wait a
No.
minute. Wait.
No.
You know?
A lip kisser.
no.
Oh yeah, I got a couple of them.
You knew exactly where you were when this event happened? I bet you for Pat and Bob, you know exactly where you were 14 years ago today. Exactly. Down to the minute when you found out.
14 years ago would take us to what? 09?
Yep.
Now in
I think I know.
09. Oh, were we at opening day?
No, I think I know.
Today's the day that.
Bin Laden?
No, today is the day that Harry Callis passed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I do
yeah.
remember that.
14
was-
years ago.
I was watching Mike Trout play high school baseball.
When you got the word.
I told him that Harry Callis died. He got done his game. I was interviewing him, and I said, "Oh, did you hear Harry Callis died?" Yeah, that sucked. That was horrible. And I even know what he was writing the name Dunn on his scorecard up in the press box when he passed for the Washington Nationals at the time.
It was he was in the it was I think it was Nationals home opening day.
It may
An
have been.
the afternoon game, and people had been in the radio booth with Harry just minutes before.
Yeah. Yeah. There's an
and he
iconic
dropped.
picture of them getting on the elevator to go to the bus to Washington. It's Harry and L.A. and Fransky and those guys. Yeah, that was horrible. That was one that hit deep. That was bad.
Still better than any other day,
when
right?
when you spank that thing, it feels really good. That did not
What
go
was
over
that?
well.
Sorry,
What
you
was
spanked
that, Pat?
What are you
Pat,
spanking over
grab
there?
it. Pat, grab that,
That
No,
please.
I don't want to grab it. He's already
No, that's
spanking
the
it.
truth.
That is a drop.
That's great.
You grab it, you spank it. All
That's
right.
great.
Do whatever feels good for you.
I
bud.
meant hit the golf ball.
I got like a box of 100 gloves.
I don't know what they're doing in this studio in the afternoons, but I'm going to wipe stuff down in the
Yeah, I
morning.
would definitely
Better
wipe
than
There's
down.
a reason why the walls are cream colored.
There you
Johnny.
go. Yeah, if you're so much coming your way, John Kincade Show
Gross.
here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Look behind the curtain into your life as a Philly sports fan that exemplifies your Philly fandom, and it may be something that you're not proud of. An event, a moment when you were maybe stupid as a fan, something that really connects you with the audience.
Streaking down Broad Street.
When the Eagles played the Seahawks in the playoffs a couple years back, right?
That was the concussion game, right?
Yes, yeah, with Wentz. Before the game, I went down bright and early with my cousin Sean. He's a legend down there, C6, tailgating. Me and him were setting up. And first thing we put out was the TV on a stand by accident. Wind comes,
Oh, no.
done.
Oh,
It was
snap.
living room TV, done. Broken, put the screen up everywhere. It was done. So, you're throughout the day. The game was later that night. So we were there all day. Somebody's like, what are we doing about the TV? I'm like, I'll jump through it. We'll set it up and I'll just jump right through the TV. So I went up on the guardrail, fly Eagles fly, EAGLES Eagles, down through the TV.
Did you get cut?
No. I was well. I had gloves. It was cold out. So
Okay, I like that.
I had
Is
the
there-
jeans.
Is there
and-
video of this?
Yes.
Okay, good. We need to see that.
Yes, of course. I'll put it up on the YouTube page if we want to throw it up there.
Good job, Brandon. Put that out there. All right, we'll be checking in with
Final
you.
question.
I like
Proud of
that. Good job, buddy. And good work so far. Bobby.
I was drafted as a catcher. He played catcher in high school. He played catcher at his JUCO school. So he can absolutely play first base.
So you're looking at this as a permanent position change for Bryce Harper because you're not going to put him back in the outfield, right?
I don't know.
I know. I mean, I think there's a chance that it's a permanent position because it's easier to find a corner outfielder than it is a first baseman. And they also have no corner out. They don't have any first base prospects in the system. They have plenty of corner outfield prospects. So I could see it, but I think it just adds versatility. It's like Alec Boehm playing first base.
Well,
you can now put Alec Boehm in for, like, if Bryce Harper comes back and plays first base, they now have Boehm, Harper, and Muto that can all play first base and another position, and that versatility gives them a lot of options.
They also would have their infield set for the next 5 years minimum.
Yeah.
Why do you not want Bryce Harper at first base?
Injuries. Okay, aren't we talking about the one thing holding them back right now is sliding? You don't think you have to dive at first base?
Oh, you do.
Hello? Somebody? What are they going to do? Tell them not to do it, not to go after the ball if you can't get it standing up? Takes away kind of half the purpose of being a first baseman.
Good point.
I could see it in the long run. Okay, fine. Not right now.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense.
How many times would you have to lay out over there?
You do. You do. And he plays everything balls to the wall.
Right. I could say
Bryce Harper has no.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year. Maybe that's the plan.
I feel like
Hoskins is probably like, you got to be kidding me, Bryce.
I feel like we are people to put mayonnaise in their coffee.
Yes.
Great innovation and inspire.
A Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Savings are in bloom at Colonial Marble and Granite. You can dust off those renovation plans and start designing that new kitchen of your dreams. Visit colonialmarble.net today. Connor will take us through the Phillies in 97.5 seconds in around 15 minutes. He'll give us the scoop on what you might have missed last night. I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. You didn't miss a lot. That was a lackadaisical, like sort of just listless effort last night. And I don't know if great pitchers can just make you look like that. Because that was some great pitching last night. Again, they help out a lot. Yeah. They help the opposing pitcher a lot.
Yeah.
This is
I'm kind of at a loss now. I don't know what to say about this team. I don't know what Thompson's doing sometimes. I'm starting to get to the point of, okay, let's get a lineup together and just stay with it a little bit because 4-9 after 13, something needs to change a little.
Sure.
Nothing drastic, but I agree with you with the Marsh thing. Get him in the lineup. Let him stay in the lineup. Young kid. Let him face lefties and see what he can do against lefties. Bohm at first, I like.
You just put him there. Just put him there and leave him there.
As much as I wanted to see him grow as a third baseman, right now, yeah, that's okay. Edmundo Sosa at third is all right with me. Just get some normalcy and see how that plays out.
You know, Ricky said something yesterday when he was on with us, and I sort of glossed over it. And then I heard them talk about it on MLB Network, too. How's Rhys Hoskins feeling about Bryce Harper learning to be first baseman? Ricky said it yesterday when he was on with us. He said, Rhys must be like, seriously, dude? I'm hoping that maybe I would be able to come back here.
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
What?
I highly doubt that Rhys is up in arms over the fact that Bryce is saying, "Hey, I can learn first base."
No one's saying up in arms.
You said seriously, dude? I mean,
like the idea of that he's being replaced.
Okay, then let me rephrase it. I don't think that for 1 second that Rhys Hoskins gives a rat's ass about Bryce Harper learning first base.
Okay,
I don't.
Is it a case of he's looking back and saying, "Wow, they're trying all these different people. That's okay until I'm back." Is it a case of, that could be the long term?
Yes.
I don't know.
That is the case. There is even the beat writers think this could be that they're looking at it as a long-term answer.
My long-term answer at first base, though, wouldn't be, I don't think it would be Bryce Harper. It might be Alec Bohm.
See, to me, if you have Bohm, Turner, Stott, and Harper, then my infield is fixed for 5 years, minimum, 6 years. With the guys you have under control, you have them all under control.
Yeah,
you know the stability of an infield is absolutely amazing. That to be able to have that.
Well, if you sign Hoskins, it is too.
And as Pat said, corner outfielder. I don't believe that they're going to do the. I think if they were going to sign Hoskins, they would have done it.
It's weird now with the injury and all that stuff. Does it play into the Phillies' hands? Does it play into their hands that you could do a? I forget how. I think Jason Stark might. Pat, I don't know if you heard it. Jason Stark may have set up one of those pillow deals where it's just a nice, soft, comfortable 2-3 years, not too much money that's going to kill the Phillies, but enough that Hoskins will be satisfied coming off of a major injury. You're in a good spot though. Right? I mean, you bring it up. Okay, you can move Bohm to first. Maybe Bryce Harper, prolongs his career by playing first. It's a little bit easier than running around in the outfield. I don't know, but you're in a pretty good spot where you do have, if you're counting Hoskins, 3 guys lined up that can be your first baseman for the future.
I don't think Ricky is saying that as a throwaway. I think Ricky understands dynamics of guys, especially in contract years. That type of situation there. And I think Harper at first base to me is very appealing because as Pat said yesterday, Pat, you made the case, finding a corner outfielder might be the easiest thing you can do in baseball.
Yeah, it's way easier. You can find those. They grow on trees. First basemen don't. First basemen are tough to find.
And if you can find, first baseman is a position where you've got a lot of really talented first basemen. As far as great offensive producers, and that in a lineup, you put Harper at first base.
Yeah,
your first base production is as good as anybody's.
Yeah, and you need pop. I mean, this team's lacking pop right now. You have Schwarber, who had another one last night. We know what he can do. But after that, yeah, I think Trey Turner can hit you some home runs, but I don't look at that as pop. Right now, first base, you really don't have it.
You don't have anything. With Hall out.
Bohm is, I think, a really good hitter. Can he get to that 25-ish home run area? I don't know.
What's he got, 3?
You got to get an outfielder or first base. You need pop at the positions where you usually get it from, and that's outfield, first base, third base. You got to get it, and they just need more of it.
7 o'clock hour is brought to you by the all-new Bet Parks app, a sportsbook and casino in one sleek, easy-to-use app in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And you can listen to Jamie's Daily Odds Pod, the 20-minute daily podcast where Jamie gets you caught up on everything you need to know about your day's wagers. And Jamie joins us at 8. And also, we give you a chance to win a $1,000 gift card today at 8 to anywhere you want. You tell us where you want it. We'll get you the $1,000 gift card. You got to be tuned in today at 8 o'clock. But as we get rolling here, in Pat's point of view, he thinks there's a perfect scenario for the Eagles in the draft.
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
Hi, guys.
But is it splendid?
I guess we'll find out. It's up to you. So the Eagles have the 10th overall pick in the draft. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
I've heard that.
I didn't want to hit breaking news sounder just in case you did know. But yeah, they have the 10th overall pick.
Oh,
the
thank
one
you for
position that I swear if they draft this position, I'm going to lose my mind at 10 is offensive line. If they go 10 at offensive line, I'm just going to pull my hair out.
Skoronski, here he comes.
If I hear the name Peter Skoronski at 10, I am going to riot. And it's not because I think he'll be a bad player. It's just because I don't think they need an offensive lineman in that spot. It's a lot like when they drafted Andre Dillard. I didn't know anything about Andre Dillard. It was just there's other needs that you can have right there. But the Eagles' logic would be, well, we're planning for the future. And the future would be life after Lane Johnson.
Correct.
So Jeff McClain has started a podcast called Birds Uncovered. I believe it's called Birds Uncovered. And it's really good. There's 3 episodes out now. I think the 4th drops today. The first episode was all about Evan Mathis. The second episode was about Lane Johnson, and then the third episode is about the rise of Chip Kelly, and I think the next one's the fall of Chip Kelly. But the second episode I listened to yesterday, and I was always on one of the guys that like, look, Lane's going to play till he's like 38. You know, he's playing at a high level, and why would he walk away? And I know you got to plan for life after him, but you got an all-pro here. Let's not push him at the door. After listening to the Jeff McClain podcast about it, I'm like, this dude might have like 2 years left. He sounded like he had 1 foot at the door. Jeff starts it out by saying, I was surprised that they restructured a contract because I thought he was going to retire. So I think that the best case scenario at 10 would be for the Eagles to hopefully Will Levis drops in the draft. They have a quarterback-hungry team in the 20s that trades the Eagles their first-round pick next year. And with next year's first-round pick, they draft Lane Johnson's replacement. Because one of the issues I have, if you draft Peter Skoronski at 10, is offensive line is one of the positions where you plug and play. You draft a guy in the first round, they start from day one. Okay. They don't sit there and wait around. Like tight end we talked about yesterday. Tight end, you have to learn. It's a lot of learning, and usually guys have a drop-off. If you're drafting an offensive lineman day one, they're not supposed to sit. So if you draft an offensive lineman next year, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. If you draft Skoronski this year at 10, I'll lose my mind. But it made me realize they really do have to plan for life after Lane. But they can do that next year because he's already signed for this year. If he retires next year and you have 2 first-round picks, then you go out there and you draft Lane's replacement, fine, because you can play him that year. And if he comes back, then fine, he learns behind Lane. But drafting an offensive lineman this year, I'm totally against. So I think the best-case scenario is Levis drops, team trades up, trades you their first-round pick, a la what the Bears did with the Giants, and then you take that first-round pick and draft Lane's replacement. Next year, you use the first-round pick that you got this year in the 20s to draft a defensive player.
So if you got that, in your scenario, the Eagles end up with 2 firsts next year, and they already have 2 seconds.
So they end up with 2 firsts this year in the 20s, and then the 30th pick.
And then they'd have two firsts next year.
2 firsts next year, and you'd hope that team would be really bad, which you think they would, because they'd probably usher in the Will Levis era early.
I would love your scenario. I would love your scenario.
That'd be best case, I think. You know, I said yesterday that you just can't go wrong with this 10th pick. There's nothing really that can go wrong. You know, and we played out all the scenarios and where you could draft. I would be most disappointed if they took an offensive lineman. That would disappoint me the most if their first pick was an offensive lineman.
Considering all the success they've had, though, I mean,
it's just don't need it now.
Yeah, that's my problem with it. It's not a position where you draft and have to develop. You know, cornerback's kind of one of those positions where if a cornerback sits and he was drafted high, you kind of understand that there's a learning curve. Offensive line is so plug and play.
Yeah.
And you know that Lane's going to be back next year. You don't know if he'll be back the year after that, but if he is, you can stomach 1 year. The idea of what happened with Andre Dillard, where you take a guy in the first round and he's sitting and quote-unquote learning for 2 years of a rookie contract, it's a waste. It's a complete waste. And there's a chance that if Lane Johnson were to come back after next year, that if you draft Peter Skoronski this year, he's sitting for 2 years. And the only time he gets in is if an injury happens, and nobody wants that.
And you already have a draft pick offensive lineman sitting for 2 years.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Unless Jurgens is your starting right guard this year.
I think he will be, but there's a chance.
I think he will be.
But there's a chance, right? There's a chance that he does sit. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really like the idea of wasting rookie contracts on positions where it's plug and play. So,
I don't see Jurgens sitting this year. I just don't, because I do believe that After listening to the Kelsey stuff, I think he was going to retire if they won that game. If they had won the Super Bowl, I think he would have been done.
Yeah.
So to me, they know that they've got to get him more game action, even though it's not at center. They just need to get him in there and get him more playing time. But I love that scenario.
I wouldn't even have a problem next year if they had 2 first-rounders next year, if they took offensive guard and offensive tackle. And the offensive guard would step in for the right guard spot. Juergens moves over to center, and then you've got your right tackle of the future, unless Lane walks away. Then you've got your right tackle of the now.
I wouldn't
have a problem if they went offensive line back-to-back picks next year.
I'd be shocked if Lane. I'll be shocked if Lane is here in 2025.
Yeah,
hearing reading what McLean's written, and then you've listened to the podcast. I can't wait to listen to that.
It's really, really well done. Jeff does a really good job with it.
I'll be shocked if Lane Johnson's here after the 2024 season. So, like 2 more years of Lane Johnson, and if you got 1 more year of Kelsey and 2 more years of Lane Johnson, there's going to be major turnover here. Those are major cornerstone pieces.
Yeah, ushering in a new guard.
I like your theory, though, Pat. That'd be great to look forward to next year's draft and know you have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. That to me is Howie's season.
Yeah.
That's where Howie can do whatever the hell he wants.
He loves wheeling and dealing.
Have the flexibility to be able to do it.
And also, I didn't even talk about this, the cap ramifications. I don't know if the Eagles really want to go into next year with 2 first-round contracts on their cap, knowing that they have to pay Jalen Hurts. So I think until they figure out a contract with Jalen Hurts, next year they'll know that, so they can figure out how to go into the season with 2 first-round picks. But this year, I think they're probably looking to save a little bit of money. That first-round pick contract, it's not cheap. So that's one of the reasons why I think they'll probably trade out of the 30th pick.
So the OTAs come Mother's Day weekend. That's usually right around Mother's Day. I really expected a Jalen Hurts contract by then. I thought that we would have a Jalen Hurts contract before OTAs.
Yeah,
we haven't heard anything. I mean, and very well we might. The fact that we haven't heard anything doesn't mean, with Howie, we know, doesn't mean that it's not coming. But I would have expected to hear something sort of by now. And if they did get to OTAs without a contract, I'd be like, okay, now this is getting to be an interesting story.
It's interesting, all right. Yeah. But I don't worry about it. Like, I haven't found myself worried about it, or what the hell's going on, or whatever. I don't know why. Maybe money and Howie seem to go hand in hand, and it never is that much of a worry. I don't know, but I haven't really thought about it all that much. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. Maybe for those involved it is, but as fandoms, I don't think we have anything to worry about.
I would think that you can wheel and deal more at the draft if you know what Jalen's number is. That you have more flexibility to do that.
Well, I think they have a pretty good idea. I think both sides have a pretty good idea. Penn hasn't gone to paper yet, but I don't think they're going in there, having no idea what's going to happen.
I think they know the neighborhood.
Yeah,
they just don't know that. They don't know the house. They know what neighborhood they want to live in. They just don't know the house.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
And so, do they splurge on the house that has the, beautiful back, or do you want a pool, whatever it is? But the longer it goes, it's obvious Jalen's camp isn't just saying, "Oh, let's just get a deal done. Let's get it done now." And by the way, that would be dumb on their part, especially coming off of the season that he had.
Yeah,
it would be crazy if he had that attitude. Sixers and Nets, game 1, round 1 tomorrow at 1:00. So, Pat, you'll get us started at 9 a.m. tomorrow, right? And you guys are going to be out at Bet Parks?
Yeah, me and Jamie will be at the Bet Parks in the Chickies in Malvern.
It's fantastic
really nice spot, so stop on by. We'll be there 9 to noon, and then that'll lead you in a Sixers pregame with Devon, and then the Sixers beat down the Nets at 1:00.
By the way, high-priced cupcake place in that parking lot.
Oh, really?
We didn't maybe not the best cupcake. Maybe not even one of the best 10 or 20 I've ever had.
Okay, I'll be the
just
judge
so you
of
know.
that.
Are you going to try it out tomorrow?
Well, yeah. Now that you've got my attention.
Yes. So when you walk out the door, you'll be able to see it.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Nothing worse than a dry cupcake.
Oh yeah, no.
when
I
you
agree with you.
when you have the icing and you're looking forward to the cupcake and it's dry.
Yeah.
That's not a win.
Tough sell.
I know what is a really, really easy sell, though, is when you go to bed on a Phillies game and you've given up on it. Well, Connor Thomas will always have you covered on these night games with the Phillies in 97.5 seconds. Play ball.
Phillies were facing Nick Lodolo and the Reds again, hoping for a better performance against the young ace than the last time they saw him. Remember, team struck out 15 times in that game. Both teams were able to score one in the first. The Phils on a Nick Castellanos RBI single. The Reds on an overthrow from JT Realmuto as Jonathan India stole third. Then in the top of the second, the 2023 Phillies showed up.
And that's lined into right center field, a base hit. Sosa to second base, and he's going to gut off. Oh, no. The base running mistakes by the Phillies continue as they throw back to third. Not in time for Sosa. I don't know what Stevenson was thinking there.
Yeah, I've seen enough of Christian Pache, and I've seen enough of the Phillies base running this year. They're just awful. Thank goodness they got bailed out by the Reds being worse, but that was terrible. Score tied at 1. Bottom of the third inning showed us the theme of the night.
That's on through, base hit. Fairchild home. Stevenson up to second. 4 consecutive 2-out hits and a 4-1 Cincinnati edge.
Yeah, the Phils just couldn't find a third out last night, and it ended up being the difference in the game. Now, Kyle Schwarber brought the Phils within 2 with a solo Schwarbomb in the 5th that was mashed, but in the bottom of the inning.
Myers serves over short. Windmill is on at third. Schwarber from medium left. Tall throw to the plate. Overshoots it. Both men move up. Fairchild scores. Stevenson to third. Myers into second. It's 5-2.
Yeah, 2-out issues again for the Phillies. 5-2 became 6-2 on a Jose Barrero RBI double in the bottom of the 6th. And that'd be the final score. Both teams are scoreless in the final 3 innings. The loss drops the Phillies to 4-9 and puts them in a tie with the Washington Nationals for the worst record in the National League. Not a great start, boys.
Fundamentals, again, and Ricky talked about it yesterday. Fundamentals are whether you're supposed to dedicate some time to them. This team has come out of spring training, arguably the worst fundamental team I've ever seen the Phillies have.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
They don't play comfortable, smart baseball at times, and I don't know what's going on with them because you have the guys you had last year in large part. I know you had injuries, but the core is still available, and all of a sudden this team just they're in a bad slump right now.
By the way, the Mets and the Braves also have injuries,
right?
Major injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, because I keep hearing about the Phillies are banged up. Mets and the Braves are banged up.
Right. I didn't want to not acknowledge it saying that.
I'm saying that, but it's.
Yes.
All these teams are banged up, and the Phillies are the one that aren't performing.
You are good enough that you should be better than this in spite of the injuries that you have. And last night was not one of those games where it's like, oh, I'm going to lose my mind over it. It was just a very uninspired performance. So
they got time, but when do we stop saying that? Do we have a number on this? When we stop saying it's early? Because, I mean, last year when they fell 7 games under 500 or 8 games, 7 or 8 games under 500. They're already 5.
Yeah, I'll go 30, 35 games.
Okay.
When you start to.
No, but I'm saying about how many games under 500? Because, I mean, at some point you rarely dig out of those.
I'm looking more at the end of the month to just see where they're at. Like more of a time frame than a number of games.
Good job, Connor.
Thanks.
He's got us all set up in the Locked On Phillies podcast. Make sure you are subscribing. If you want to share a thought and jump in on this conversation, you can at 610-632-0975. Digging themselves out of an early hole is important. Plus, Pat gives an objective review of 82 games. We'll see what his score is. John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I know that the other day as I'm pulling into the campus at Temple, I'm thinking to myself, hey, as an alum, as a parent, as
97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
The basketball playoffs are absolutely getting ready to heat up after they play the elimination game tonight. And there's nowhere better to watch a playoff game than PJ's. Score $3 Bud Lights while you watch the Sixers' first game Saturday at 1. Go get lunch. Hang out at PJ's tomorrow afternoon. Nice little opportunity. Get out to PJ's. Watch that. I may do Downingtown tomorrow.
Yeah.
For that, see that Sixers game, 1 o'clock. May just do the Kincade. Can't figure out which one it's going to be, but look forward to it. Game 1 tomorrow. Should be a great one as we get Sixers Nets. Everyone just waiting for it to get to the second round. If you've been one of those second round people, got to win the first round first. And we'll find out tomorrow how easy this is going to be, how that rolls along. Mike from Delran's on the line, though. Mike, thanks for holding, buddy. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, buddy.
Hey, quick question about Jalen Hurts, and I had to put a comment about that game tomorrow. You think they're waiting to see what Lamar Jackson does? Like, because I really hope not. Like, this guy, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand. I'm with you. Like, I was actually been thinking about it. Like, why haven't I heard anything, and why isn't this deal done? Like,
well, Howie does work stealthily, as Pat was talking about, is, we don't tend to hear what he's up to. But I think it's a really bad sign if they're waiting to see what Lamar does. Because then they may decide to go even further. They may decide to see what Justin Herbert does. Because Hurts has a lot more on his resume than Herbert does.
right. Yeah, I don't like it. I just wish that deal would get done. And you know what, man? I got my 5-year-old's birthday party tomorrow for his school friends, right?
Okay.
School. And I scheduled this thing months ago. And I had the foresight to think, like, that's going to be like playoff basketball. I don't want to get screwed. Well, 1 o'clock. Let's get it done early in the day. So who the hell in the NBA decides that game, Philadelphia, New York, Brooklyn, should be at 1 o'clock? That's absolutely ridiculous. Screw you, NBA. Go Birds.
Thanks, Mike. Enjoy the party. Pin the tail on the donkey. Do they still do that?
I don't know. 5-year-olds, that's tough. The only good thing is, you can't keep their attention all that long. So party for 5-year-olds can only go about an hour and a half, I'm thinking. So
and I think Mike can do
I'd kick him out at halftime, Mike.
I think Mike can put the game on DVR and just not touch his phone. That's an easy one, and then just pick up and watch it live. Watch it without doing that. That's not a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
I watch
have
every sporting event that way. If I'm at home tomorrow, I'll start watching the Sixers around 1:30. I'll put my phone down. I'll know it's on DVR because I've already got it set to DVR, and I'll start watching around 1:30 and then zoom through the commercials.
Okay.
So that way I don't have to sit.
You like to tweet during games, don't you, or no?
No, I try to. I'll try to keep it until the end of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unless there's something that's just maybe a halftime tweet, something along those lines. But especially on a weekend day where you got stuff going on. Even though tomorrow I think it's supposed to be rainy. So, Pat, prepare when you're going across to the cupcake
Get out your
place.
galoshes, Pat.
I will dress accordingly.
Yeah, they need that. I think
Attaboy.
it's going to be a little bit rainy for you in the morning as you get going there. Maybe wipe some of this pollen away, which has really got people jacked up.
Yeah, it's been a bad spring for allergy people.
The car is
myself
covered.
included. Yeah, car's nice shiny green on it. You like that, Pat?
The green
I
car?
can't stand it.
I know. It's horrible.
I don't. I can't get over this, and I bitch about it every year. We live in 2023, and we can't come up with an allergy pill that actually works. And they all claim to work for 24 hours, so it makes you feel like a pillhead if you take 2 in a day, but they don't work for 24 hours. That's BS. Those commercials, it's a scam.
What I will say, Miss Rhonda says that. It's a scam. When I know that I never stopped taking it, Pat, because I had to take it down south, so I just take the Zyrtec and everything, so it hasn't been that much of a problem. But like your voice, people, whether it's the voice, Bob, you were the other day, I was like, man, it sounds like you're like having that little tickle cough. Yesterday I was having the tickle cough.
Yeah.
Where it just continues to harass you. So, and for people who have to work outside in this, landscapers, painters, anybody who's working outside, roofers, I don't know how they do it. because they must be they're sucking this stuff in all day long.
I've had horrible allergies my whole life since I was a little kid. And, and the fact that I did, landscaping for off and on, full-time a lot when I was a teenager. And then when I got older, I did it as a side job also. I don't know how the hell I did it, to tell you the truth. It's ridiculous. It's so bad now just standing around, let alone, cutting hundreds of lawns a week. It's crazy.
So Mason says something yesterday. Mason is one of our listeners. And
what's up, Mason?
Mason is a school teacher, and he's looking forward to summer. And then in the summer, he's a lifeguard. That's a pretty good deal, eh?
That's great.
Go down and be a lifeguard in the summer?
Sure.
Mason says, though, he said, look, stop worrying about the early season hole that the Phillies have dug themselves because division titles don't matter anymore. I said, really? Division titles don't matter anymore? And his point was the Phillies were the 7th seed last year. He goes, you guys got to he goes, I know you're not panicking, but stop worrying about it because division titles don't matter anymore. Now that there are 3 wild cards, you don't need them anymore. The hill that the Phillies climbed last year is not one that almost anyone ever climbs any year. So I'm going to tell you that was the anomaly, and that's what I said to him. So I ask you, Bob, Pat, what do you say to Mason? Because he says, look, you don't have to win the division, so just get to the playoffs, be healthy, be playing well, and you can do what the Phillies did last year.
You ain't getting to the playoffs at 4-9 playing this type of baseball. So that's what the worry is. I'm not looking at division. I'm not looking at wild card. I'm not looking at anything but inward of this team. And right now, inward of this team says nothing about playoffs. You're 4-9. You've lost 9 of your first 13 games. Not good enough. I'm not looking long-term right now. I'm just looking at this team. Yeah, it's early in the season, whatever. But as I've said to you, when you see things happening, I don't care if it's 10 games, 13, 30, that's where your concern has to lie. And right now the concern is they're not getting a lot of good starting pitching.
Not at all.
The bullpen's being taxed a little bit. And, John, as you said earlier, their base running, it's just been horrendous. So I'm looking inward of that, Mason. That's all.
You hear Tom McCarthy talk about you can hear Tom on the broadcast. Oh, no. Here it goes again. And Pat, it's just I don't know. I know Ricky's talked about it on the best show ever. He talked about it with us yesterday. At some point, nobody's feeling accountable because nothing's changing. This team's crappy on the base paths night after night. They're not paying attention.
Great. It can improve. It's I kind of in a way though agree with Mason.
You don't care about the division as much as you care about.
I like winning the division. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
sure.
It's cool, but in baseball, it's a lot like hockey. If you just get in and you've got a shot. We've all seen teams, wild card teams in baseball. It seems to happen more in baseball than any other sport. That they get in and they make noise, and it's because they're kind of riding that hot streak. Whereas a division winner can kind of rest on their laurels a little bit, and the last 2 weeks of the season don't mean as much or whatnot, but you kind of ride that wave. I'm not saying the Phillies are going to do that. Last year was crazy because they were the last wild card team to get in, but just in terms of just the wild card spot itself, if you're the first wild card team or the second, it doesn't really matter. Just get in the playoffs and see what happens. Because if we were a division winner, we'd be going, yeah, we feel great. We won the division. And if you're a wild card team, we'd be saying, well, look at what wild card teams always do in the playoffs. They make noise. So in a way, I think he's right.
So Coach knows stuff. Coach, Mason's a teacher, high school teacher, and a lifeguard.
Okay.
What does he teach? What does a guy who lifeguards in the summer and he's a high school teacher, what does he teach?
Cooking.
Social studies.
Health.
Science. He's a science teacher. Man, like that'd be a pretty good gig. You're a teacher. He also coaches during the school year.
Nice.
And then you're a lifeguard.
Oh, he's got it all.
It's a pretty good job. You're out of college. You get rolling.
You're out of college if you're a teacher.
You get
I mean, I don't want fellow students teaching me if I'm in high school. That ain't cool.
It's not 21 Jump Street, right, Pat?
Yeah.
You didn't like that movie, did you?
I did like that movie.
You did, really?
I loved them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 21, 22. Loved it.
Wow, okay. I didn't. I would have thought you would have given that a thumbs down.
No, I loved it. Yeah, very funny stuff.
On the Pat. I need a historical Pat, Like, do you have a historical view of stuff you've watched? Because that's something that, for whatever reason, I guess because if you search for certain shows, 21 Jump Street always comes up as a movie on a search because of, I guess you're looking for like 20, we'll look for 2020s, old 2020s and stuff, so you'll see 21 Jump Street. So you liked that movie.
Oh, I was a big fan, yeah.
Wow. I remember the TV show. I do not remember. Do you remember who starred in the TV show, Pat?
Johnny Depp.
And
he made a cameo in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it was very funny in it.
Did he have his fake British accent?
No.
He used the...
He was a undercover cop biker.
Really? Hey, be sure Jamie will join us today at 8. And also, too, we'll give you a $1,000 gift card. Somebody has a chance to win a $1,000 gift card. You just have to be listening today at 8 o'clock. Anywhere you want, you can get that gift card. So the Flyers end their season last night. And I thought it'd be great, as Pat was sort of immersed in it all year long, if Pat gave us a 82-game objective review of the Flyers season. Because I don't hear many objective views, I got to tell you, on this radio station. But I trust Pat's eyes and ears.
So objectively speaking, we won't know until the NHL draft lottery. Because a lot of people looked at this season as a dud because the team was winning the 1 year that you
wanted to lose.
Won. Yeah. That you were actively trying to lose. This team went out there and were trying their hardest. And normally you cheer that. You're like, all right, improvements are cool. But this year was the 1 year that don't. But look, they're the 7th worst team in the league. So moving up 7 spots in the draft lottery isn't unheard of. Teams have done it. And I think if the draft lottery, if the pong balls bounce their way, everybody's going to look at this year as a huge success because of the fact that, and John, you've talked about this a lot, the team improved quite a bit.
They did.
I thought it was expected under John Tortorella because he's a win-now coach, and he's developed teams before, whether it be Tampa, whether it be Columbus, he had success with. But you saw bounce-back years from guys like Travis Konechny, the guy was completely lost last year. He led the way with 61 points. Kevin Hayes was second with 54. He's been a letdown, and I think he'll be gone after this year. He's got a large cap hit of $7 million, but I think he'll be bought out.
He got 3 years left?
He's got,
maybe
3
years left.
$7 million. I think from rumblings, he's even accepted the fact that he won't be back. But the big problem with the Flyers was the people that didn't play. You had Sean Couturier, Cam Atkinson, Ryan Ellis. All 3 of those guys were on IR for the entire season, and they were supposed to play big roles with the team. They obviously didn't.
Would this team have been a playoff team with them? All 3 of them.
They wouldn't have been a playoff team, not in the Metro, but my point is it could have been worse.
Okay.
You know, for all the fans out there, they're like, man, their team's winning too much, and this is the 1 year you're not supposed to win. Trust me, it could have been way worse because they wouldn't have made the playoffs, but they would have made enough noise to be like the 10th worst team.
They would have won like 5 more games minimum.
Not in the Metro. They weren't making the playoffs. But the biggest feather in the cap for the Flyers is the season that Owen Tippett had. Tippett comes over. He's the former 10th overall pick from Florida. He couldn't crack that lineup because that lineup was stacked, and he's a top 6 forward, and the Flyers grab him in the Claude Giroux deal, which I won't give nice guy Chuck a lot of credit, but I thought he did a nice job with the Claude Giroux deal with the hand that he was dealt. He ends up getting Tippett, and he scores his 27th goal, I think, last night. Finishes with 49 points. He's a guy that you can build around. So he had a nice season. And Morgan Frost had a kind of a breakout season, and he plays center, which is a huge position in hockey. So it's not all bad. They do have a first-round pick, and as I said, it's the 7th worst right now. They don't have a second-round pick because of Tony DeAngelo's trade, which was I ripped it at the time, and he sat the last 2 games. So I think he'll be looking for like his 27th team in 28 years. He's like Zava from Ted Lasso. So yeah, he might have found his way out. He seems to be towards his doghouse, and I think John Tortorella was watching from the press box the last couple games to kind of wean out who he wants to go forward with and who he doesn't.
He's called it the summer of subtraction coming up, right?
And I think that he's going to look to subtract from Tony DeAngelo. And unfortunately for the Flyers, they don't have a second-round pick because they made that move. So, and another win-now move. So, not all bad. There were a lot of good things regarding this season. Unfortunately, it was all hampered by the cloud of Connor Bedard because a lot of fans couldn't get over the fact that the team was winning in the 1 year you weren't supposed to. So if you take away the Connor Bedard factor, the team did a lot better than the previous regime. They looked like they were playing harder. They were playing harder. they looked like they were moving in the right direction. They look good.
They were much better defensively.
They're very far off, and I think Danny Briere and company know that. The draft's going to be big for Danny on what he does. I think some of the moves that he makes, wheeling and dealing, and that'll kind of give you the direction of what he wants to do. But the next big date is the ping pong balls, and then after that, it's going to be the NHL draft to see what they do. But they can't. I doubt that Danny Briere is going to make a move like Tony DeAngelo, like giving up draft pick compensation for a win now move. I don't see him doing a move like that. I think he knows that they need to usher in the future because the prospect pool isn't great. It's not horrible. Cutter Gauthier, I think, is going back.
He's going to stay back. Yeah, he's going to stay back
to college.
Is that a sign? Is that a sign that they are next year? They could be worse than this year.
I don't think it's a sign of that. I mean, he was really good last year in college.
Yep.
I think they don't see a need to sign him right now and burn an entry level year in his contract. So you might as well keep him in college for a year.
Sure.
But yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. It's just unfortunately there's that cloud of Bedard.
I like that you I like that you brought up Tippett though. That was the one I had in my notes because last year the Tippett move was being ripped. That's what they got for Claude Giroux, and he ends up being a nice piece.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, he I didn't hate the move. I think a lot of Flyers fans hated the fact that you were trading him and not seeing really the fruits of the labor, i.e. the picks, until later on because they had to do that deal. They couldn't get a first. So they'll have Florida's first-round pick next year. I mean, I like Tippett as a player. He was just a guy who needed a change of scenery. And I'll tell you what, the two goals he scored against Columbus the other night were incredible. Like the kid's got a scoring touch, and he should be
a 30-goal guy next year.
Yeah, I think he will be.
Which is nice.
Yeah, and he's doing it with not a lot of talent around him. So once he kind of gets that around him, he'll be even better.
Very objective, Pat. Good job. That was an objective view of it. Because most people I hear is Flyers suck. Flyers suck. I like a little depth. That was depth from Pat Egan.
Flyers suck as an organization kind of does cover it pretty well, though.
The king of depth.
Yeah.
I like hearing reasons and actual
layers in this onion.
I like hearing logical conversation on sports radio, not just Flyers suck. They're terrible. They suck with no insight because there's some things to be at least slightly positive about. And hopefully they're going to get better down the line. Now, the Phillies, we'll find out. Bob in Cooney's Corner says concern might be the better word than panic.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's Corner.
Well, I thought you put it well yesterday, John, when you said panic isn't here yet, but concern is. And the text that I read from my friend Joey yesterday, I thought it put it really well. But is concern starting to grow into panic in areas? In any areas with this Phillies team, is concern starting to grow into panic? We talked about when you're really going to look at things. I said, 30, 35 games when you're going to have a better feel. That's where I think, you might decide to change something, whatever it may be. But I'll ask both of you guys, and Pat, I'll start with you. Is there anything that was a concern that maybe is starting to grow into panic with you?
Their depth. They don't have it. It was a concern for me before the season. And that's the way I'm trying to view your question is, was it a concern before the season?
Yeah.
Really my big concern was their depth. And they just don't have a lot of it. Like, they're going to Christian Pache. And I can't get over this. He was released by the A's.
Yeah.
The A's need cheap talent.
He's cheap. He's just not talented.
And he's not talented. And the A's released him, and the Phillies said, no, we think we can find something. Like, the Gregory Soto move, and I worried about it at the time, not necessarily the player they were getting, but what they were giving up. And I'm not saying Vierling and Maton are world beaters, but they were just depth pieces.
Wouldn't mind having them, right?
And it would be nice to have Matt Vierling out there instead of Christian Pache if you're not going to put Brandon Marsh in the everyday lineup. The other one I'll give you, Bobby, is the quick hook that Rob Thompson's had. I worried about it last year, and I've noticed that it's back this year.
I thought that his name would be brought up. Not that you're panicking on him, but I thought his name would be brought up as a concern. Probably more of a concern than you had before just 13 games were played.
I don't like Rob Thompson's lineups. I don't like his quick hook. But I'm worried about Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. I'm worried about Zach Wheeler not being able to pitch deep into games. I'm worried about Aaron Nola just flat out being a 7 earned run pitcher through 3 starts. I mean, I got to see the next 3 get that down to like where he's a 4 earned run pitcher, and I'll be like, okay, now I can breathe. If it continues to be the disaster that it's been, I'm going to have serious concerns. And I do wonder about Wheeler. I wonder if Wheeler is. Remember, he was shut down twice last year, like sort of where they were skipping and giving him some extra breather. I wonder if he's feeling something. Remember, it was an elbow thing.
Yeah, they had him at 94 pitches his second outing this year. So, if they are concerned about it,
loaded and stuff, but that's not Wheeler.
But if they are concerned about it, what are you doing? I don't know. The Schwarber thing has me a little concerned. Is he just a home run hitter anymore? We all love Schwarber, and he's fun to watch and all, but he hit 18 last year? He's hitting below 200 this year. If he's not hitting home runs...
And there's no shift anymore.
What is he? Right, exactly.
I mean, that's crazy.
Well,
yeah.
It's early. If you want to feel better about the situation, this time last year he was hitting about $120.
Okay, that is the truth.
I looked it up yesterday. It was like 13 games in. He had exactly 3 home runs, which I think he has now as 3 home runs. I think
3 or 4. Yeah, something like that.
But he hit as of yesterday, I looked at the exact date, and it was $125, 3 home runs, and we were having the same conversation about Kyle Schwarber. He'll eventually heat up. It'll come.
Yeah, it'll come, meaning the home runs will come.
Yeah. But I mean, but I also think like base hits will come. I mean, he went from 125 to hitting 220 last year. On the surface, you look at a 220 hitter and you go, that's not impressive, and it's not. But when you look at where he started the season off at, it kind of was impressive. So I'm not worried about him at all, actually.
Okay. Are you worried about JT at all?
No. No, I mean, the lineup I actually feel a little bit better about because guys like JT, guys like Kyle Schwarber, I know that it'll come around for them. I like the lineup because guys like Bryce and Stott and guys like Alec Boehm, I didn't know. They were question marks going this season, and the fact that they've started the season off so hot, that I think it's a good sign for this offense. Maybe not in the immediate return, but when it all gets clicking, maybe in a couple weeks, I think it'll be good.
All right, so we've talked about it. What Rob Thompson has been doing was shuffling these lineups, and it's not just shuffling spots in the order, but he's shuffling players in and out. Give me your ideal. All right, if I said to you, for the next 10 games, I'm giving you one lineup and one lineup only, and that's what you have to go with. What would it be?
Sosa's at third. Boehm's at first. Brandon Marsh is in center field. And you can fiddle around if he wants to fiddle around a bit with the lineup as far as how he bats people. But those are my players.
All right, give me your batting order, too.
Well, I'm going to let, I guess I'm okay with fiddling around with Stott at leadoff for 10 games.
Okay.
I'd give Stott a leadoff opportunity for 10 games. And if you want to say Stott, Turner, Schwarber, I'd be fine with that for the top of my lineup. I worry about the way Castellanos is hitting. He's not giving you power, but he appears much more competent at the plate than he did early in the year. I may need to put him at cleanup and hope that he can hit a double and clear the bases with some of those guys getting on in front of him. I don't know what to think of JT. I like Boehm. Maybe put Boehm at 5, JT at 6. And take it down there because that's where my concern is starting to lie. I just want some stability, and I don't think this lineup has any stability to it.
Yeah, I didn't mind him, and I said it last week. I didn't mind him looking and shuffling and trying to figure out a lineup. I don't like the ins and outs of all these players, like Harrison in there and Pache in there. I really don't need that. Brandon Marsh is a good young player. Let him out there.
Let him play.
Yeah, let him go. The top of the order is interesting. Do you want to go Stott Turner or do you want to lead Turner off, Pat? What do you like better?
I like Turner at the leadoff spot, but for right now, I'm cool with Stott because, as I said a couple days ago, it backs up Schwarber in the lineup. My biggest problem with Rob Thompson is he continues to hit Kyle Schwarber second, and I want Kyle Schwarber hitting in a spot where guys are going to be on base. So Trey Turner can hit anywhere. Doesn't matter if he's first, second, whatever. But if it bumps Kyle Schwarber back so that the possibility is 2 guys are on, I'm fine with that.
We give you an opportunity to win a $1,000 gift card to anywhere coming up if you stick around with us. Jamie Lynch will join us and more. John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. When you hear the words cancer research, what are you thinking? Clinical trials, new protocols, breakthroughs? Well, I'm one of 18 million Americans that can say thank you. Thank you for supporting organizations like the AACR, the American Association for Cancer Research, because when you fund research, you fund solutions, you fund cures, you help find new protocols that save lives every day. You're going to help all kinds of people. And whether it's in your family or a friend or otherwise, cancer is going to touch your life. And the American Association for Cancer
A Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
John Kincade Show on The Fanatic. Thanks so much for being a part of our show. We got Jamie Lynch in studio with us. That always puts a smile on your face.
Hello.
Thanks to the BetParks Casino and Sportsbook app, where the odds, slots, bets, and games all come together. You can download it now at betparks.com, and the Daily Odds Pod, which I'm guessing is already posted since you're here.
Yeah, I threw out some, some Sixers Nets pertinent information. I'm fired up, and I'm real fired up because tomorrow morning we're going to be leading, Pat and myself are going to be leading you into Devon Givens live from the Wells Fargo Center, site of Game 1. So, anytime I get to broadcast the morning of a playoff game, I get a little extra pep in the step. So I'm going to be out at the BetParks Race and Sportsbook inside the Chicky and Pete's in Malvern, 9 to noon, and then Devon will be down at Wells Fargo. So really, really excited. I feel pretty good about the Sixers. I'm pretty fired up.
You sound fired up.
I'm not letting the sins of Ben Simmons and the past Sixers team scare me this playoffs. This is a new team. This is a better team. This is a fresh chance for everyone. Joel Embiid's broken through, I think, a major barrier that stood in his way, and that was the clutch gene. I think he's ready. I think he's ready to make a statement for his NBA legacy.
Great hat, by the way.
Look at you. He is on fire this morning.
By the way, great hat, new hat?
No, old hat. Yeah.
Great hat.
Same head.
Same big head.
Huge.
Paige went to the year and a half checkout the other day. 97% skull.
Head size?
Huge.
Yeah.
For big brains,
Big
Bobby.
nugget. Yeah.
Big Irish heads.
A big brain, I mean, that is a good thing to have.
Yeah.
That is good, especially if you use it.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing.
That's a key to it.
Now, yesterday we had the thing where you were with Anthony's roundtable and all that stuff. Are you worried about people overlooking this Nets series? Because Anthony was going right to Boston.
He's already talking Boston.
BetParks has a promo right now, plus 300 for a sweep. It's intriguing to me.
Oh,
you really?
Look at you.
A little bit. I think it's a 5-game series, but I can definitely see a sweep. So for 3-1,
I think
it's intriguing.
I think the Sixers of the past have shown me, and again, I don't want that to be the thing that blinds me, that they don't have that killer instinct.
I think Joel does now.
You do?
I think he busted through a major wall that, because he's already great. And it's like, all right, can he be, top 25 all-time great? To do that, he has to win, and he has to become a clutch game finisher. And I think he became that game finisher. Now can it lead to a title?
And we saw some of that last year in the postseason. I mean, that Toronto game.
That was it. That was the breakthrough.
Shot was a great one.
Because he was 0 for 18 before that shot in, however they define it. I think it's under 20 seconds or less within like a 3-point game, a game-winning shot or go-ahead game winner. So he was 0 for up until that Toronto shot, and I think that changed everything. I think he busted through.
They've been up 3-0, Bob, in the first round the last 2 years. And both times they didn't put the foot in the throat. Against a bad Washington team, they let them win one. That's okay. They against Toronto last year, they're up 3-0, and then they let them win 2 games. And they made them take that return trip after blowing the game 5 at home. That's something I'm looking to see this year, is what kind of killer instinct this team has.
Yeah, in years past, we talked about it. Who's your closer? Like, does Joel Embiid have that clutch? You get him the ball at the end. Is he going to make that big shot for you? Jamie put it well. He did it last year. Maybe it broke him through, made him that clutch player. We've seen it this year. More importantly to me, they have a clutch play. They have a clutch set that really is unstoppable, and that's your high pick and roll with him and Harden. And when you have a play that is pretty much unstoppable, it makes, I think, Joel Embiid be even more clutch, where you have a way that you're going to get him open. It's not just give it to him, score. Now you're giving it to him in good spots to score. Or if teams decide to just play off him, now James Harden can get the ball to the basket. He can hit wide open jumpers. He can hit guys that are set up for 3-pointers. I love that they have a play that is unstoppable as opposed to just a player.
Pat, do you feel do you put anything to that where you're up 3-0 for last 2 years and then you don't just take somebody out?
I don't put too much stock into it necessarily. I mean, it's really tough, I think, to sweep in the NBA. It's annoying, if anything. But at the same time, Johnny, you get an extra home game, so that's cool. But
I would rather see this team.
It's more annoying than anything because you know eventually, like we're delaying the inevitable.
I think I'd rather see a team that obsesses on everybody needs rest, with a medical staff that believes everybody needs immense rest, that they get it done in 4. That they get it done as soon as possible.
Yeah, the Sixers are 5-2 against the spread with 3 or more days rest in their last 7. You. So, yeah, that was from the podcast this morning. So they're very good.
The Daily Odds pod from Bet Parks?
Yeah, got my head spinning early. Way to go, James.
Joel Embiid and James Harden will be on, 8 days rest?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not a bad thing this time of the year. Yeah, I mean, they're a really good team. You know, ever since the 12-12 start, they're 42-16,
which is what, second or third best?
The best, I think.
Or it is the best.
Yeah.
It is the best
since that
12-12.
It was December 5th or whatever. And they're number 2 in net rating. They're number 2 in net offense. Bob missed it last week. I got a little trivia for you. The last players to lead the NBA in scoring and assists as teammates in the same year since.
Stockton and Malone?
No, longer.
Longer than Stockton and Malone.
Modern era or no?
No.
Not modern era.
Kuzi and somebody?
No,
or?
George Gervin and Johnny Moore.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good trivia by you, Jamie Lynch.
So I don't even remember Johnny Moore.
I didn't either.
He was an assist guy.
Yeah. I had to look him up. But to Bob's point of, that's a dynamic advantage they have to not only close series that they didn't have in the past, but, to have a real crack at a title here.
I believe there's something about this team that's different.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think Doc Rivers seems more confident of his club. There's an air he's putting out that I think he's much more comfortable with the crew he's taken to the playoffs than in previous years.
And people might laugh when they hear me say this. I think PJ Tucker has a lot to do with that. They've missed that SOB on their team.
We've missed you too.
Yeah, all these years. And PJ Tucker, look, he's not going to fill a stat sheet for you, but he's going to play really tough defense on Mikal Bridges. He's going to throw some elbows into his ribs on rebounds. He's going to be relentless on the boards, offensive and defensive. He's going to do the things you kind of need here for playoff basketball. This is why you brought him here. He's never going to fill a 15-7 stat sheet for you, but he's going to be an SOB on the court, and they need that.
And for a not very good rebounding team,
they need that.
I think he's going to show up even more in the playoffs. If you're just overviewing, not specifically the Nets or the Celtics, anything like that, James, but if you're overviewing this Sixers team, what's the most important thing for you moving forward with them?
Moving forward, like
no, this playoffs.
Tyrese Maxey struggles the most versus the Celtics of all the teams he's faced in his career. Yeah. And, you need 20 a game from Tyrese these playoffs. And the Celtics defend him really well. So that gives me concern. There's nothing with Brooklyn that gives me concern.
I believe it's 8 o'clock, Pat. It is. It's 8 o'clock.
97.5 The Fanatic's $1,000 gift card giveaway.
It's your chance to win a $1,000 gift card to anywhere you want. Jamie, if you had a $1,000 gift card to anywhere you want.
I'd probably just go Amazon because it's got everything.
Versatile.
Yeah,
right, it's
very
versatile. That was my guess, too. It's a little boring, though.
It is boring. There's a couple local
PJ
breweries.
Tour Superstore.
That wouldn't be bad.
See?
But you could spend that $1,000 in one club if you really wanted to.
Hey, the key word this time is gift. That's the word, gift. Like Jamie is a gift to us every Friday, thanks to Bet Parks. Go to 97.5thefanatic.com or text it to 45911 or put in the keyword on the Fanatic app. The keyword is gift. The Fanatic's $1,000 gift card giveaway is presented by American Standard HVAC Contractors. To find a dealer, visit AmericanStandardAir.com. One person selected at random is going to win. Get complete details for this company-wide contest at 97.5thefanatic.com. Good luck to you. I said Amazon too, and
It's just got everything. Like my hose splitter broke on me the other day. Just
what's the hose splitter?
We have two hoses, so it splits the main spigot.
Oh, really?
They're like cheap 15, 20. Yeah, so you can get two hoses going. Anyway, it cracked on me, and right there on the spot, I just swiped, and I was like,
swipe, I'll get a new
It'll
one.
be here by noon tomorrow. I don't even have to do anything. Don't have to think about it. It's just stupid
How cool
stuff.
are you?
The coolest, Bob, you know?
I like jumping in the car and going again.
No.
Yeah,
Why?
I do, because it gets me out.
See, there it is.
You know, like if you're outside working and stuff and something happens, you're like, I got to go to Home Depot and get her. Go to Lowe's or whatever.
Swipe once and it's at my door the next morning.
That's the difference between me.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't
He
know.
likes going to the store, Pat. It's a good thing, isn't it?
Instant gratification.
No, it's not a good thing.
Why not?
I do like my True Value store.
I go and
I have a good time there.
Yeah, I love hardware stores.
Yeah.
Like we have an Ace right in
Ace
a
True
couple
Values. They're the
towns
best.
over.
You guys sound like the most.
Your dads. No, your dads.
Yeah, I mean,
you sound like dads.
Absolute suburban dads right now.
They're really
Comparing
helpful in there.
Your home improvement stores.
They know everything. The old men in a hardware store, they know everything.
They know where everything. There's not a thing there they don't know. You could even go in and be like, I need a thimble, and he goes, I just sold one of those 3 weeks ago. I think there's 2 left, and boom, he goes down and gets it for you.
Yeah, those guys are great.
They're great, Pat.
I will say that I have enjoyed the last 2 weeks of weather because I have worked in the yard 5 times.
Yeah, it's been nice.
And I that's the one thing I do enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't build anything. I can't take a toolkit.
Everybody can do yard
put
work.
something together. Yard work, everybody can do.
Yeah.
And when it's nice.
I'm
Like,
hitting
that's
the
even
mulch piles this weekend, the free mulch pile.
Our mulch is completely done.
Wait, time.
After
Free
today.
mulch piles?
Yeah, my township has a free mulch pile.
How about that?
Are you
Boom.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, if I came
Takes
over
me
to
like
your
4
town,
trunk. You can come and
You
get
can
it.
come.
Yeah.
just load up my truck and leave, even though
Free
I'm not
mulch.
from town.
Uh-huh. They don't check IDs.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of what color mulch?
The dark stuff.
I do black.
I like the black
Yeah.
mulch.
Yeah.
Always like the black.
It's good dad talk.
You didn't know that though, Bobby?
No.
really, you didn't- like, you don't
Had
have
I
that?
known, I'd have moved next to Jamie.
It's great.
Our town doesn't have that.
Yeah.
The free mulch is a fantastic item.
It's pretty nice.
Mulching's cool.
I
Yeah,
like
Because
that
you
is
get
good.
dirty.
It's satisfying.
Yeah, it is. And it always makes anything look
Now,
better.
you put gloves on?
No.
See, now
No.
you don't put. See, I put the gloves on with the mulch. Really?
No.
Really?
That's okay to get dirty, John.
Yeah, but
The beer tastes better when you crack it with a dirty hand.
with a dirty hand.
Ah, man,
Of the
that's
mulch.
words to live by right there.
What time are you mulching? Like 8 in the morning?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then the beer
You can
comes out at what
I
time?
mean, you're going to put 3, 4, 5 hours of yard work in.
Yeah.
And you get that good sweat going.
A little
and
turkey
then you
sandwich
just
for lunch with a cold bowl.
Oh, it's
and
awesome.
then you just open that refrigerator in the
Yeah.
garage, or if you have a keg, if
I
you're
earned
fortunate
this
enough.
beer.
Oh,
There you go.
nothing better.
It's a. How'd the Phillies do last night? We've all been complaining, Jamie.
Yeah, not great. Not great. You missed it last week because you were gone, Bob, but I said they don't have the luxury of waiting for a first baseman. I know you need 2 to tango, but you're going to have to go blow somebody's doors off. You cannot get through a season like this. I think it's a glaring problem for them. I think Rob Thompson's starting to figure out some of the other things, like Brandon Marsh is your starting center fielder. Stop platooning him, please. He's doing really well. He's even hitting lefties. Alec Boehm, I don't want to yank back and forth across the infield like this. You need a first baseman. You need it real bad, and you gotta go do it.
All right. Well, there's one in Cincinnati.
Are you talking Votto or Will Myers?
No, Joey Votto.
Yeah, I mean that would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd part with him.
He is like Mr. Cincinnati.
He is 40 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. It's that, but I drew the correlation the other day to Ray Bork.
Yeah.
Is that he is to their organization what Ray Bork was to the Bruins.
Yeah.
And they ditched him
He left.
off to Colorado and he won a title.
Yeah.
And
Come
they
to
gave him
Philly.
a
Win a
chance.
title, Joey.
Come on, Joey.
I would
on,
not
buddy.
hate that bet in the lineup, but they got to, if it's CJ Crone, if it's somebody else, they can't go months like this. It's going to kill them. It'll end what was supposed to be a World Series aspiration year.
What's your thoughts on Bryce Harper taking ground balls there?
Love
Maybe
the
him going there.
attitude. I brought it up stupidly like 2 months ago. I was like, you don't throw that much at first base. Like, why not? Give it a shot. I love the attitude of him saying, yeah, if it helps the squad, get me, let's go. And it keeps him, busy and active during all this. So that's a good thing too.
Who's your long-term first baseman on this Phillies team? All right, let's look 7 years down the road. Your first baseman is?
Oh, God. It's not going to be Reese in 7 years, a long time.
Because I think the guy's on the roster now.
You think it's going to be Harper?
I think it's going to be Bohm.
Do you?
I do. So I think they have the luxury. You're right. You can't win like there. You need a first baseman. Your premise there, I'm on board with. What if you can get a third baseman? A good third baseman. Are you okay with just putting Bohm at first and saying, okay, here you go?
Yeah, if he's got this pop that, it's a small sample size right now, but if he can get up to 25 or 30 home run consistently, then yeah, I'd be okay with it. I need at least minimum 25 home runs from
your first baseman. Yeah.
Here are the numbers through today. In Major League Baseball, they're updating it every single day on all the pace of play and stuff like this. A 9-inning game, Pat, is down 30 minutes.
Love it.
From an average of 307 on this date last year to 237 this year. Have you enjoyed, have you noticed, have you been excited by that? Half hour.
Yeah, I have noticed it's quicker, and huge fan of it.
So you are a big fan of that?
Absolutely.
The offense, Bob, up 1.4 runs per game compared to last year, from 8 runs a game to 9.4.
Yeah, who doesn't like runs, right?
See?
Yeah.
But the question is that
Chicks dig dingers, James.
But you were talking the other day about the idea is that do you think that maybe the pitch clock doesn't favor pitchers? Remember, pitchers are usually ahead of the hitters, and the hitters are catching up here. The batting average is up 20 points, Jamie, compared to the same time last year, from 230 to 250. And that's no shift.
No shift.
So some of them are the new rules. No shift, Sherlock. No shift at all on that one. Stolen base attempts have increased to 1.7 per 9-inning game.
Does Rob Thompson get that memo?
No.
Yeah, they don't run.
When Bryson Stott is on third the other day and Turner's on first and you have Castellanos up, who's leading Major League Baseball in doubles, why are you not taking second base? Why?
Yeah.
He's one of the best in baseball at it.
It's one of my early pet peeves about this team is Trey Turner should be leading the league in stolen bases, and he's had plenty of opportunities to steal, and they're either not sending him or he's not going. And that was an example. Yeah, like Kruk's like, yeah, I'm really
First
surprised.
pitch.
I'm really surprised he hasn't gone yet. Like,
And they're not going.
Never did.
Why?
But I guess it's because of the fact that you got Schwarber there, and they're saying, let Schwarber hit a dinger.
This team's not good enough right now to not try and manufacture some runs.
I agree with you. I mean, I don't understand.
And I think Rob's realizing that, I hope at least.
Stolen base attempts. Success on stolen base attempts is at 79.9%. Only 1 out of 5 runners is getting thrown out. Last year at this same time, it was 74%, 1 out of 4. So now it's 1 out of 5. Last year was 1 out of 4. So the new rules are certainly attacking some things about baseball.
Yeah, I like the new rules. The shift I'm a big fan of. I thought it got ridiculous.
What about integrity of the game, though? Statistical integrity. Like, this changes a lot.
Well, you feel like the Ryan Howards of the world got robbed of
a little bit,
some batting average points over the years?
And
I'm sure they did.
I mean, I guess it's a sport, though, that's trying to evolve and trying to change, so I can't slam them for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you can't worry about because they're trying to do the best thing for the spectator.
But we aren't to hitting season yet.
No, we're not.
I mean, what are the numbers going to go up? Batting average is up 20 points.
Good.
I mean, I agree with you. And the 30 minutes a game, there's a lot of people going, I don't want, the faster games. I loved my baseball going to games. The other night, people stood in line for 5 innings to get a hot dog.
What the hell is going on?
We thought about you with this story yesterday.
Idiots here that work here did it.
Yeah.
5 innings.
Well, Connor did it because he's a journalist.
Yeah.
He did it for 50 minutes.
Yeah, he was in for 50.
Brendan was
in line for 5 innings, he said.
Why would you go to a game and stand in line for 5 innings?
I can make a perfectly good hot dog at home.
That's what I said. I said you should have called me. You could have came over. Could have drove over to Jersey. I'd given you 5 hot dogs for nothing, and you'd be back.
Doesn't that just mean the other lines would be shorter? So go take advantage of some. I know it's not $1, but go get a sausage, pepper, and onions. There's probably no line.
I'm starving.
Go to PJ's.
Yeah.
You can go on into PJ's. Coach, can you imagine Coach with that many wieners? I mean, seriously.
I grilled some up yesterday.
You did?
Thought of Coach.
Yeah, I'm not standing in line for 50 minutes.
The only way I want a hot dog, grilled. Only way, no other way.
Air fryer's pretty good too.
Yeah, I can see that.
The boiled. Like, I know people who boil hot dogs.
Sure, I don't mind that.
I know people who microwave hot dogs, Coach. The microwave hot dog.
That's a low point.
Yeah, I can't see.
That's where
myself
you need
doing
an
that.
intervention.
Yeah, I'd go boil over microwave.
You need.
Yeah.
You would boil above microwave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's grill,
Grill one. Definitely.
Grill one.
grill, boil.
I haven't done the air fry, though.
Air
I
fryer.
haven't done air fryer either. I don't think it does everything well.
Try
the
it.
air fryer.
All right, well, talk about doing everything well. Bob Cooney has a Brooklyn Nets scouting report. So, Jamie, we have to have our ears perked up because Bob's going to give us the inside scoop on that. And we found out we have a leftover gift card that we didn't give out yesterday during game time. We're going to give it to somebody coming up, so stick around for that. John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. You ever have trouble telling your mom how much you love her? Yeah, well, sometimes we don't do it enough. And I know I wish. People to put mayonnaise in their coffee.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, not doing
that.
it. No, not doing
I
it.
can make my wife gag by taking a.
Okay.
Easy.
Tell me more,
What is-
bud.
Oh, God. Pat just grabbed
Let
that.
me finish. By just grabbing
What?
a spoon.
She's trying
Listen, a spoon and a glop of mayonnaise and showing it to her like I'm going to eat it. It makes her. It makes her gag.
Okay, we have to end the show right here. Oh, man. Hey, not every
It was
contestant.
full on lips.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Richard.
It's weird. I don't know what to tell you.
Do you have a lip kisser among your friends?
No.
No.
Wait a
No.
minute. Wait.
No.
You know?
A lip.
Oh yeah, I got a couple of them.
You knew exactly where you were when this event happened? I bet you for Pat and Bob, you know exactly where you were 14 years ago today. Exactly. Down to the minute when you found out.
14 years ago would take us to what? 09?
Yep.
Now in
I think I
09.
know.
Oh, were we at opening day?
No, I think I know.
Today's the day that.
Bin Laden?
No, today is the day that Harry Callis passed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I do
yeah.
remember that.
14 years ago.
I was watching Mike Trout play high school baseball.
When you got the word.
I told him that Harry Callis died. He got done his game. I was interviewing him, and I said, "Oh, did you hear Harry Callis died?" Yeah, that sucked. That was horrible. And I even know what he was writing the name Dunn on his scorecard up in the press box when he passed for the Washington Nationals at the time.
It was he was in the it was I think it was Nationals home opening day.
It may have been
the afternoon game, and people had been in the radio booth with Harry just minutes before.
Yeah. There's a picture of them getting on the elevator to go to the bus to Washington. Harry in L.A. and Fransky and those guys. Yeah, that was horrible. That was one that hit deep. That was bad.
Still better than any other day,
when
right?
when you spank that thing, it feels really good. That did not.
What
go
was
over
that?
well.
Sorry,
What
you
was
spanked
that,
what?
Pat?
What are you
Pat,
spanking
grab
over there?
it. Pat, grab that,
That
No,
please.
I don't want to grab it. He's already
No,
spanking
that's the
it.
truth.
That is a drop.
That's great.
You grab it, you spank it. All
That's
right.
great.
Do whatever feels good for you.
I
bud.
meant hit the golf ball.
I got like a box of 100 gloves.
I don't know what they're doing in this studio in the afternoons, but I'm going to wipe stuff down in the
Yeah, I
morning.
would definitely
There's-
wipe
There's
down.
a reason why the walls are cream colored.
There you go. Yeah, if you're so much coming your way, John Kincade Show
Gross.
here on 97.5 The Fanatic. We'll look behind the curtain into your life as a Philly sports fan that exemplifies your Philly fandom, and it may be something that you're not proud of. An event, a moment when you were maybe stupid as a fan, something that really connects you with the audience.
Streaking down Broad Street.
When the Eagles played the Seahawks in the playoffs a couple years back, right?
That was the concussion game, right?
Yes, yeah, with Wentz. Before the game, I went down bright and early with my cousin Sean. He's a legend down there, C6, tailgating. Me and him were setting up. And first thing we put out was the TV on a stand by accident. Wind comes,
Oh, no.
done.
Oh,
It was
snap.
living room TV, done. Broken, put the screen up everywhere. It was done. So, you're throughout the day. The game was later that night. So we were there all day. Somebody's like, what are we doing about the TV? I'm like, I'll jump through it. we'll set it up and I'll just jump right through the TV. So I went up on the guardrail, Fly Eagles Fly, EAGLES Eagles, down through the TV.
Did you get cut?
No. I was I had gloves. It was cold out. So
okay, I like that.
I had the jeans.
Is there video of this?
Yes.
Okay, good. We need to see that.
Yes, of course. I'll put it up on the YouTube page if we want to throw it up there.
Good job, Brandon. Put that out there. All right, we'll be checking in with
Final
you.
question.
I like that. Good job, buddy. And good work so far. Bobby.
I was drafted as a catcher. He played catcher in high school. He played catcher at his JUCO school. So he can absolutely play first base.
So you're looking at this as a permanent position change for Bryce Harper because you're not going to put him back in the outfield, right?
I don't know.
I know. I mean, I think there's a chance that it's a permanent position because it's easier to find a corner outfielder than it is a first baseman. And they also have no corner out. They don't have any first base prospects in the system. They have plenty of corner outfield prospects. So I could see it, but I think it just adds versatility. It's like Alec Boehm playing first base.
Well,
you can now put Alec Boehm in for if Bryce Harper comes back and plays first base, they now have Boehm, Harper, and Realmuto that can all play first base and another position, and that versatility gives them a lot of options.
They also would have their infield set for the next 5 years minimum.
Yeah.
Why do you not want Bryce Harper at first base?
Injuries. Okay, aren't we talking about the one thing holding them back right now is sliding? You don't think you have to dive at first base?
Oh, you do.
Hello? Somebody? What are they going to do? Tell them not to do it, not to go after the ball if you can't get it standing up? Takes away kind of half the purpose of being a first baseman.
Good point.
I could see it in the long run. Okay, fine. Not right now.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense.
How many times would you have to lay out over there?
You do. You do. And he plays everything balls to the wall.
Right. I could say
Bryce Harper has no.
Maybe next year. Maybe that's the plan.
I feel like
Hoskins is probably like, you got to be kidding me, Bryce.
I feel like
Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
8 o'clock hour of the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jamie Lynch is with us. He's got the Daily Odds pod already posted or he wouldn't be here, correct?
He's rocking the Casbah.
Yeah, and I'll be out at the Bet Parks Racing Sportsbook tomorrow
with who?
9 to 12 with one Pat Egan leading you up to Devon.
Hello.
I love throwing it to Devon down at the Wells Fargo
I'll
Center.
be there also.
Oh, will you?
Yes,
and Devon will be there.
Yes.
Nice. So, yeah, we got you covered for Sixers pregame tomorrow, and I love a 1 o'clock start.
See, I love it too. I don't understand the negativity.
But I think it's supposed to rain. I wanted to be out on the deck with the TV drinking beer.
Out on the deck.
Yeah.
I don't like 1 o'clock. Too early. Sunday 1 o'clock, all in. Saturday 1 o'clock, a little too early.
I mean, ideally 3:30 would be
take
like
a
the best.
3:30. Yeah. Yeah.
That being said, I'll take a 1 over a 7.
It doesn't suck.
Yeah.
See, now, you got a lot of that though. So you're saying 3:30, but 3:30 would mean I go to church at 4:30 on Saturday. So I don't want to. I want to be able to sleep in on Saturday and Sunday. So we go 4:30. That does not work as well for me. I like that.
Yeah, if it's the playoffs, Jesus understands.
No, I like the 1 o'clock because then I can still and then I can
could
still
never go
roll
to church
in.
after a game. No way.
What?
No.
Why don't you want to give blessing for the fact that Joel Embiid went out and put up 42?
Yeah,
and grabbed a bunch of rebounds too.
Yeah, hey, Jamie doesn't go to church when he's 5 in.
Exactly.
Hey, after that yard work and the beer at 10 in the morning.
Hit me with the blood of Christ, Father.
Hey, you may not always need
When's
a new
communion?
water.
I'm starving.
You may not always need a new water heater, but when you do, choose Bradford White. Yeah, Jamie's rolling into 4:30 mass.
After a playoff game, no chance.
Playoff game, that's not coming. That's not going to work out that way. Sixers Nets tomorrow though, which is great. So you get Pat in the morning with Jamie live from Bet Parks at Chickies and Pizza in Malvern, and then you get Devon and Bob inside the stadium.
Love that. I don't think Devon would have guessed in the beginning of the year his family would be facing off against the Sixers here in a playoff series, but here we are.
It's got to be, I don't want to say weird because Devon's been watching Mikhail play all his life, obviously. But it's strange.
It's definitely different.
It's strange. You got a playoff series coming here. You can't root against family. Family's family.
Nah.
But for his job, it's a lot better for the Sixers to win.
I don't think he has to worry about it.
Yeah,
you can cheer for McHale, who's thriving right now, and then
he can average 38 a game, and the Sixers winning 5.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, let McHale have his fantastic performance, but I absolutely could root against family.
Really?
I don't want them to win. I wouldn't want them to win.
I mean, you could. You can't.
I can never root against.
No, root against. If you're talking about that, I'm going to go and I'm going to root for them to have a great game, but I'm not going to root against my team.
You don't root for family over your home team?
I am not going to root. I am not going to root for. So if cousin Dan was playing for another team, I'm not rooting against my team for him. I will root for him to do well.
I had this discussion with a buddy of mine one time, and he said, yeah, if my son was the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, I'd root for him every game except the 2 times he played for the Eagles. And I went, what? Your son? He said, yeah, the Eagles are my team. I said, that's your son. He said, no, I would root for the Cowboys for 15 games.
That's what
the other 2 games, I would root for the Eagles when he played them. I said, get the hell out. You're full of shit.
Whoa.
Sugar, I said.
Whoa.
Sugar.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sugar.
If Liv was a guy and played for the Dallas Cowboys and she came in to play the Eagles, you'd root for the Eagles.
I would root for the Eagles, but I would root for I would not. I would not become a Dallas Cowboy fan.
It's your son.
That's what these two
Oh my God, I can't believe this.
Pat, are we the real professionals here?
I mean, seriously.
Lynch, talk me out of this crazy. You're not rooting for your son?
Try not to curse, Jamie.
You are rooting for your son to do well.
Yeah, I would probably go son over hometown team.
Yes.
So you'd become so in other words, then you would become a Dallas Cowboy fan. You wouldn't be an Eagles fan anymore. You'd be a Cowboys fan.
I'd probably have to, right?
Because if you're using the scenario that Bob's putting out there,
I mean, you'd only have one.
You'd have to you'd be rooting for your kid then every week. So in other words, you would no longer be an Eagles fan.
It would be a false support, but you'd have to.
I think it would be a false support because I don't think you could muster it up.
I wouldn't feel it, but I'd wear like the jersey and the hat to the link.
Kid.
Yeah.
You guys this is mind-boggling to me.
I love this.
It would be torturous.
You want to get in? You want to get in on this? You can 610-632-0975.
So this is ridiculous.
No, I mean, like, think about walking into the link in your son's
Cowboys jersey.
Like,
do
that's
you know
tough.
how much passion you have for your children?
I'm aware, and I would do it.
80 million times more than you have for any damn team.
But it wouldn't be that enjoyable.
It
is
wouldn't
what I'm
be
saying.
enjoyable.
Like, it'd be a false sense of like rooting for a team.
But I want my kid to do well, and I'd root for
It'd
my
be
child
tough,
to do
man.
well.
It would be tough.
I'm not rooting because if you're in your scenario, Bob, it can't just be 2 games a year. You're not rooting for your team. You got to become a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yes.
So
if my son's the quarterback of the team, I'm the biggest fan you ever know.
No, I can't.
I would do it. I'm just saying
I
it would be
I am disappointed in you.
I would root for
I
my
swear
kid.
to God, I'm disappointed in you. You're not because of the Eagles? So, a person you gave life to? No, I got to root for the team that I've rooted for all my life. Get the hell out of here. You bred this kid.
Okay.
I'm like upset.
It would not be enjoyable.
It would be terrible, in fact.
It's your kid. It would be the best thing ever. You have a kid starting in the NFL?
Yeah, it would be great. But it wouldn't be
There's
like
no buts.
No, it wouldn't be.
There is.
No,
I'm
you
not
guys are
becoming
nuts.
your
Flood
kid,
the phone lines. I need to hear from
your
you.
kid becomes a Jacksonville Jaguar.
It'd be a lot easier
I'm
if
gonna
it
be
was
a
a team you
Jacksonville
didn't
Jaguar.
hate. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Jacksonville Jaguar would be easier.
Yeah, definitely.
San Diego, L.A. Charger would be easier.
I can't believe you're talking about easy. Oh, I could like him. I could like the team more if he played for the. It's your kid.
No, I'll root for my child, everybody, to be successful. I'm not going to. Look, I wouldn't be. Wait, you can ask. I would not be thrilled if I had to root for a school that Liv chose to go to a school that I didn't like. I wouldn't be thrilled because I wouldn't be wearing the. There's a certain school that wanted her badly that I said I am never going to be putting on one of those. This school's parent on my car.
Yeah,
no chance.
If my kid was like a backup guard on a team I hated, I think it would be a lot easier to not give up. But if your kid's a star player on the other team, I think it's tough.
Hey, when someone gets hurt, we know who to call. God. But what about a mental health crisis? I think Bob's having one with us this morning. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers you free confidential support around the clock. So don't hesitate. Call 988. Bob Cooney's got his eyes on the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to find out now how concerned he is.
I don't even know if I can do this.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's corner.
Really?
I think I'd be a fan of the Cowboys if your kid was the starting quarterback. I'm not kidding you.
Really? This is incredible.
I would do it. I'm just telling you, I think there would be internal.
It would be fake.
It would be tough.
Oh,
I would do it.
You'd be a fake fan, though.
But
I'd
be a fan of my son. I wouldn't be a fan of the team. I'm just supporting my son by wearing and supporting the squad.
Your kid's jersey or your kid's shirt.
Know.
You're not going to be sitting there every week going, "All right, man, Cowboys."
I'm not living and dying with
Sure
Cowboys.
I am. If my kid's the quarterback, I'm saying it not just every week. I'm saying it every second of every day.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I'm shocked at you guys. All right, Brooklyn Nets. What do you need? You need to slow them down. They're going to want to play a really fast game against the Sixers. Look for easy baskets. What does that mean? It means offensively, you got to get good shots if you're the Sixers. Get points. Don't allow rebounds. The way you do that is by scoring. Real simple. Make them inbound the basketball, and that's by having a good offense. So the Sixers are going to have to execute offensively really, really well. When they don't, when they miss shots, when they turn the ball over, they have to get back on defense. And, John, I said it to you earlier, the first step after a turnover, after a missed shot, has to be back. It can't be forward. You can't be anticipating a pass or looking to intercept it. No, you have to get back on defense. It's going to be one of the keys for the Sixers. I do love the fact that I think they have multiple guys that can do a decent job on Mikal Bridges. I don't think it's imperative to shut him down because I do think he's one of the only offensive bright spots that the Nets have. He's going to score his points. But when push comes to shove and they need baskets, meaning Brooklyn, I do like the matchups that the Sixers can pose at him in order to try to stop him. Another key to this, it's not just to this series. It's also to all series moving forward. I need to see Tyrese Maxey moving. As I was talking to you yesterday, John, about it. Moving out on fast breaks. Moving in the half-court offense. I can't have him standing around. I need him to put the Nets back on their heels on defense. I think he will do that. I think we're going to see a good showing from Tyrese Maxey. Doc Rivers told us last week the key to a defense, stopping the dribble penetration. If the Sixers can do that, I think they're in for a very easy series. If they're not that good at doing it, I need to give up twos instead of threes. Meaning, if they're doing well dribble penetrating, meaning the Nets, I can't have guys coming in and helping, and one and two passes, boom, we're watching wide open threes all the time. I don't want to give up twos, but I'd force twos more than I would force threes for a pretty good shooting Nets team. I think Joel Embiid will own this series. I don't think Nick Claxton can do anything against him inside. He's just too big and strong.
And he's motivated because Claxton said something to him that Joel thought was out of line. And
oh, boy.
Joel's going to want to give it to him.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a cooked chicken in Claxton.
I do, too. And the key to the series, it might be a case where every time the ball's going into Joel Embiid, it's going to be like bees around honey. You're going to see 2-3 guys going in.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be imperative for
His assist
Embiid.
Might not be a bad thing to
It
bet
might
this
not
series.
be. You're exactly right. The important thing is to catch and turn, face the basket, see the defense, and then adjust from there. His passes has to be crisp. They have to be certain, and guys have to make open jumpers for the Sixers. And as much as we talk about Maxey and Harden and all the good shooters, it's got to be Tobias Harris. He has to hit shots when he's open for this offense to fully be able to execute. I think the Sixers are going to score good amount of points in this series against
I feel
the Nets.
very comfortable after hearing this all.
The over-under is kind of low for the first game. What do you make of that? It's 215.
Is
That's
it
really low to me.
That's playoff basketball.
Yeah, that's the
type of
only thing I could make of it.
Yeah, I think the Nets are going to look to run and score. They're going to look to run off of the Sixers. So I think they're going to be higher scoring games. I do like the over.
Let's see what Jared on a cell has to say on our earlier conversation. Jared, good morning. You're on the Fanatic.
Hey, good morning, guys. I just wanted to chime in on my way home from work. Well, if you raise that kid right here in the Delaware Valley, he would never become a Cowboys quarterback.
Oh, you see, there it is.
Jared, do you have a son by any chance?
Yep, 13.
Yeah, okay. If the Cowboys offered him $30 million a year to be their quarterback, are you going to tell him no?
If Cowboys are offering it, someone else will too.
Yeah. I like this. I like it. By the way, you've got support cousin Steve. Bob is 1,000% on your side. My cousin Steve D'Angelo saying Bob is 1,000% correct. Now that's because I don't know if Steve just doesn't have the same love for the Philadelphia Eagles that I do.
I mean, you were an Eagle fan before you had Liv, right?
Yes, exactly.
So that outdates.
And I've raised
it.
Yeah, you guys just sound asinine. I'm sorry. There's no other way to put it.
I just wouldn't enjoy it that much.
I'll root for my child, but it's going to be fake rooting
Those
for the
2
team
games
she
a
plays
year.
for.
It would be brutal.
I'm not going to sit there and be like, okay, I can just set aside.
It's not ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
You walk into the link on a Monday Night Football blackout in a Cowboy jersey and see how that's enjoyable for you.
Oh, and I look down and I see Cooney 12 leading the way. I'm totally fine with it. Yeah.
I hope Hassan Reddick, Pat, takes Cooney's head off.
Yeah.
I hope Hassan and Bob will be rooting there going, don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. He's my son. But he's the Cowboy quarterback.
It's easy for all of us to say in this spot because all 3 of you guys, you don't have to worry about this situation ever coming true.
No.
You do, though.
I don't. Have you seen this kid throw? It's not great. So none of us, we can all sit here and talk a big game, including you, Bob, but none of us are put in this situation that we have to worry about it. So,
wow,
I don't know how I would act. Like if
I thought we had a good conversation going here. Pat just beat the crap out of it.
If Jack were to all of a sudden become a professional baseball player and he got drafted by the Mets, I'd implore the hell out of him not to sign. I wouldn't want to cheer for the Mets.
I would hate cheering for the Mets.
Dude. You can sit there and shake your head all you want.
No,
Bob.
I seriously,
you're talking, Bob, you're talking a real tough game there with all your sons grown. Real tough game.
Okay. None of them ended up Cowboys.
Kyle still got a shot. What he's 25?
Sorry, buddy. You're not going to play for that team that drafted you. No, I'm going to ruin your dream because I don't like that team.
Again, we will cheer for our child's team. But we're not going to. It's not going to be authentic.
It's going to be far from enjoyable.
It's not authentic.
For those 2 games.
I will not cheer for the Mets.
No, if Jack becomes a Met, is he disowned?
Not this. I would told you. I would say don't sign.
Don't sign.
You can get drafted next year. You can. It happens all the like in baseball is the one sport
yes, they do.
Drafted
True,
multiple
Bob.
times.
It's a good point.
You can shake your head all you want. Bobby is. Oh my God, you guys are ridiculous. We're not ridiculous, Bob. We're fans.
You're good enough to
Unlike
get
you.
signed. Get drafted a year later.
You're a journalist. That's your problem. Take your press pass and shove it.
I'm a parent, but bigger, I'm a fan.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm a sports fan.
Yeah. I've been a fan longer of the team than I've been your father, kid, so I'm rooting for the team.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Now,
because, they're paying my dividends. You're not.
Wait, now 2 cousins chiming in on Bob Cooney's side.
All this holier-than-thou crap from Cooney.
Cousin Michelle, who loves Pat.
What do you say, Cousin Michelle?
Jumps in and says that she agrees with Cousin Steve 1,000%, which is the Bob Cooney team. That until the kid roots, she's still going to root for her kid. Still going to root for her kid. She's just not going to root.
You guys are saying root like it's a casual thing. Oh, I'll root for them. You know how invested you are in your children? How much you love them, everything that they do, all the rooting that you do for them in life. And they're going to play for a team, and you're going to say, yeah, but I can't root for you because I've been an Eagles fan all my life.
It's a nice hallmark reality you live in, Bob.
Exactly.
I mean, you guys are
I would do it.
I
It
would
just
do
would
it. No,
suck.
we would do it, but it would suck. It would be terrible.
I'm not that guy who would do it.
I love my kids. You guys don't. I get it.
Hey, I heard we had
Now I hate your kids, too.
I heard we had an extra Wendy's gift card that we forgot to give out
I'll take
yesterday,
it.
Pat.
Yeah, this was on me. So we're going to make this like super, super easy for the people. Hey, we're just going to do like insanely easy trivia.
Okay, so we got 1 card to give away.
Yeah, we got 1 card to give away. I don't know what.
It's a $50 Wendy's gift card.
Yeah, it's
Pat.
good. It's good.
That's a really
it's
good
good
deal.
item. We're going to do an easy question. Do you guys have, like, John, do you have an easy question?
Come up with one.
All right. Who was Darth Vader's father?
Okay, that's easy.
am.
That's
No.
easy, and I'm not even a Star Wars guy.
My bad.
What?
I messed this up. Because no one knows who Darth Vader's father. Who was Darth Vader's son? Who was Darth Vader's son? 610-632-0975. We all know Darth Vader got it on. All right. That
did.
man was a man. He swung,
Helmet on or helmet
swung
off?
that saber around. Sometimes he was kinky and put the helmet on. Sometimes he didn't.
Would you cheer for your son if he was a stormtrooper?
So 610-632-0975.
I mean, it's a fair question.
Bob would
Bob
because he
would,
says
yeah.
it would be great.
Oh, what? You're going to sit here and tell me that if the Empire is offering all that money and good benefits,
If my kid, I'm changing sides.
Yeah, so 610-632-0975. If you know the very hard question of who is Darth Vader's son, then
This
call
shouldn't be that hard, right? I mean,
it really shouldn't.
I'm not even a Star Wars fan. Pat, you made it a little too easy. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Look, I told you we're just trying to do this quickly because we're we have this card.
Because you screwed up.
Because you screwed up yesterday.
Some people would say
And you're
that
a
I
horrible
messed up.
father.
Some people would say that I screwed up, and my son would agree with you that I'm a horrible father. But other people would say that I'm in a giving mood on a Friday instead of simply just a Thursday, and I'm an equal opportunist for those that didn't listen yesterday.
And thanks to Wendy's
Good
for being
spin.
so kind to not call Pat out about this in our post-show meeting. I
absolutely got called. I got text from Wendy herself.
Wendy
I got
herself?
text from Dave Thomas's son, who plays for the Cowboys. He's a quarterback.
Do you root for him?
I don't root for him, but I got a text from him. He's angry.
Let's find out. Give away the $50 Wendy's gift card. Thank you, Wendy's, for your patience with Pat. Let's go to Brian in South Philly. Brian, the answer, you know who Darth Vader's son is, correct?
I do.
Okay, who is it?
Yoda.
What?
That's horrible.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Wow.
He said Yoda.
Not everyone's a Star Wars person.
Okay, no, wait a minute. I am not a big Star Wars person. Wait a minute. All right. That was
What?
not the answer.
Wait. Yoda was. He said Yoda.
He said Yoda.
Okay, well, let's just say that's no.
That's a no, yes.
So everybody on hold, if your answer was Yoda, it's going to be a hard no from us.
Okay, Pat.
I thought this was easy.
Pat, I said, okay, Matt in Allentown. Where's Matt in Allentown? Why did he drop off?
I don't
Matt,
know.
where are you?
Because he thought it
dude?
was Yoda also.
All right, let's see. Go to Chris in Downingtown. Chris, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right, let's get this. You know, it's not Yoda. We're looking for the answer of Darth Vader's son.
All right, I'm going to go Princess Leia.
His son.
His
Prince Leia.
Oh.
What is going on here?
What is going
His
on?
son.
Seriously.
Well, Leia's gender neutral, so maybe in some ways she is a son.
And that's fine. I mean, we don't shame, but
And if you're a Star Wars fan,
Okay, wait a minute. This is stupid.
if you're a Star Wars fan, Princess Leia is actually Darth Vader's daughter.
Really?
But that's not the question.
well, spoiler alert. But
You just spoiled the movies for people,
sorry
Coach.
about
yeah,
that.
dude. I mean, come on. They've only had 50 years to watch it. I can't. Okay.
All right, that's ridiculous. All right, let's see. All right, Dan in Philadelphia. He's got to have it. Dan, good morning. You're on the Fanatic. Dan, what?
What is going on here?
Do people not want to win the gift
Are
card?
you serious? He's a friggin' droid, dude.
Maybe
Dan doesn't want to win a gift card?
maybe Darth Vader had a Robo King.
Okay,
Pat.
wait a minute. Wait.
That's a good point.
All right, we're either being punked. Why would someone not want to win a $50 gift card?
No, well, I don't. And here's the thing I don't understand. I really don't.
Wait a minute.
I
So the
don't
way you
understand-
worded this question that's screwing people up, I think it's how you worded it. I think it's screwed up somehow that way.
I disagree.
Okay.
The question was, who is Darth Vader's son? I don't think it's that hard. It's Google it, man. Like rock a Bing search.
All right, Matt in Allentown, Darth Vader's son.
Han Solo.
All right.
That's the closest.
Look, it's not right.
We're getting there.
Okay, this is the stupidest
At the
thing.
very least, it wasn't a woman and it wasn't a droid.
Well, the woman was the daughter, so that's technically close.
Wait a minute. How did these? So the only thing is though, is that people are going, okay, people are screwing around with you guys, but somebody that gave the right answer would win a $50 Wendy's gift card.
I don't understand why you'd call and you wouldn't actually at this point know the answer.
And why wouldn't you want to take the Wendy's $50 gift card? All right, where are we going to go? We'll go to Jason in Boyertown. Jason, do you have the answer for us?
Yeah, I believe it's Luke Skywalker.
Yes!
Way to go, Chase.
Jason in Boyertown. Jason, seriously, did you even think to even bother to dial because you were like, oh, it's like, because 4 different people got that wrong.
No, I definitely didn't.
Oh, my gosh. All right, we're going to put him on hold. Jason in Boyertown. He's excited. He wins the $50 Wendy's gift card. Now, if you were willing to call a radio station and pass on a $50 gift card, you're better than me. I would snap up the $50 gift card in a second.
Yeah, I've been thinking about nuggets this whole time.
See, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You'd be excited with that.
Junior bacon cheeseburgers. What up?
All right, that's
I'm dumbfounded.
Starving.
Okay, that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
We intentionally tried to make this very easy trivia.
Simple. For a $50 gift card.
I
That's
very rarely am I just like absolutely floored at our listeners and what they say, but at this point, yeah.
Well, if you're looking for a higher intelligence, Jamie's mock draft 4.0 is coming up.
Oh, boy.
So we're going to get wait, no, it's coming up. It's not yet. No, not now.
Right now?
No, not now. Not now. It's not coming up now. It's coming up, though.
It's coming up.
It's coming up. Not
You're the
right
first to
now.
pick Yoda.
No, but it's not coming up now. We'll get to it next.
Boba Fett, number 1.
Walrus Man. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. With baseball back.
We're back at it again here, last day of the open house for the John Kincade Show, the longest running morning sports talk show in Philadelphia. We're here. The 10 already blew away on us. We're looking to have some fun today, though. Hopefully that's not a bad sign. Sixers coming off a big win. We got some big names coming in. We got Kate Scott. We got our boy George Niang and the head coach, Doc Rivers. No fire Doc chance today. Big win last night. Let's have some fun with it. With the stacked lineup we had today, our amazing listeners all piled in, and it was an absolutely packed house for the last live show of the week. For the amazing Sixers coverage, we had to get Jamie Lynch and have the listeners ask a bunch of questions to the show before we had the great Mickey Morandini in live to talk some Phillies baseball. Of course, to start it off, we had to have the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers in, Doc Rivers. He was actually such a cool dude to joke around and hang out with.
Doc Rivers is in the house.
Doc got a great ovation because it was a Victory Friday, so Pat had to show him his dance moves.
Doc Rivers is saying, what the hell did I come to? Here you go.
Doc was actually very open and honest about what he's seen from the Sixers team up until the All-Star break, and gives a little bit of an insight of what we are going to see throughout the end of the season.
My 2 years in the playoffs, Joel has not been healthy. We need a healthy Joel. We need a healthy James. We need a healthy team to win. And so we're going to do whatever we can during this stretch. I'm not going to use the word load management. Please don't, because I hate the word. I had a load management meeting 2 days ago, and I was sitting there like, you gotta be freaking kidding me.
Okay, I said I can't come. I need load.
Big applause for Doc as we hope that they can continue this strong, successful season.
Man, how cool is Doc Rivers, right? He's saying this is the best team we've had here. He's saying Joel Embiid's the best talent that he's ever coached. It's unbelievable what he has to say about the squad. It was so fun to have him in. The people loved him. It's going to be a fun finish to the season for the Sixers.
Next up, we had the newest voice of the 76ers.
She is Miss Kate Scott.
What's a better way to get the crowd going than to bring a bunch of free swag to throw out? It's always tough to follow a legend in Mark Zumoff, but I think Kate's been doing an absolutely great job. And of course, she had to tee up her man.
When you're on a game and something happens, say somebody hits a three
I am a huge
Which one
fan
do you
of this
like?
guy who talks a whole lot of trash.
Oh, yeah.
And a bang, bang, George Niang, welcome back.
George came in looking for some trouble, and it got everybody going. He was getting loud rounds of applause and a lot of laughs.
Number one in the East for the majority of this year, and they have a lot of good players over there, but playing in Wells Fargo is a lot different than them playing at home, and we've had to play them at home twice. I don't know if I want to go out and get dinner or anything. You're like a rocket, man. I'm like, oh.
We did have a heart-to-heart about that.
When you say that, I just think of what says in the locker room. He was like, the media hates the process.
The two of them were absolutely awesome. They were such cool, down-to-earth people. They were taking pictures, signing autographs, and just hanging out with the people.
Get that gut, baby. There it is.
Shout out the boy Chick-fil-A. He brought in his George Niang college throwback jersey to get it signed. This was such a fun and cool experience to be a part of. I'll let George, Kate, and John take it away.
It was electric. 97.5 The Fanatic.
They showed love. It was a great time. We talked a little smack, talked the Sixers. You know what we're doing at the end of this year.
Go Sixers.
Well, anytime you get to be part of a live video audience, it's rad. The fans here are amazing. And how good was George, right? I mean,
awesome.
he's coming for your job in the next 5 to 10. But the vibes are right. Big win last night. Go Sixers. Thanks for having us here.
The end of Open House Week was absolutely amazing, but it's just the beginning. Make sure you are staying tuned every single week to the John Kincade Show. We've always got something going on, and we're looking forward to having you join us next week here all week long, 6 to 10 a.m. right here on The Fanatic.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
It's not the smartest radio show that you've ever listened to. That last contest proved it. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
But we will drink tequila.
We appreciate all our listeners out there.
Hey, today's the perfect day to meet your friends at PJ's. Great food, drink, and a relaxed atmosphere on the patio at PJ's. Take my advice. Head into your local PJ's. I think I want a little PJ's lunch tomorrow before or during game one tomorrow between the Sixers and the Nets.
What was the wing of the month that we had out there?
Tennessee two-step.
Yeah, I've been thinking about
it's
those.
good.
Yeah,
it's good. We had some the other day.
Yeah.
Very, very
Might
good.
have to pick some up. That's not a bad idea. A little
Tennessee two-step?
Yeah, a little playoff Tennessee two-step. I'm in.
Newtown Square makes them perfect. Nice and crispy.
You could pick them up on the way home after you're done tomorrow. Is that what you're thinking?
Maybe.
You could.
See how much time there is. Listen to Devon.
You're right around the corner, too, from the Malvern location.
Yeah, and Bob.
Jump in on that, too, so. Hey, the Philadelphia Union take on the Chicago Fire tomorrow night. Isn't that a TV show?
Yeah, I think it is.
Hear the match on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app, so you can get in on that one.
All right, you had people agreeing with me. I got a text from a disagreeer.
Everybody who related to me
and this
agrees
is how
with you.
Stupid. Listen how stupid this sounds.
Oh, good.
You're wrong, Bob. It's fake fandom. What part of bleed greed don't you understand? Of course you want your kid to do well. Every game except against the Eagles. Get the hell out of here.
It is fake fandom.
Your kid's going to come into town. You're going to say, yeah, I hope he doesn't play well today because I want my Eagles to win.
You want your
I'm
support.
saying what he said. I'm not saying what you guys said. I'm saying what this idiotic friend of mine said.
It's weird. Is everybody in my bloodline is like on Team Cooney with this argument. They all agree with Cooney. 3 different cousins already chiming in.
No, this was my friend Lenny, where it all originated from the beginning.
What's Joey Merton have to say, though? Has Joey chimed in yet?
Joey has not chimed in.
Come on,
Joey, chime in. He always has good words of wisdom. Well, it's ridiculous.
What does Glenn say? He's a real cerebral thinker.
I don't know. My friends aren't that smart. Let's keep them out of this.
I don't know. Hey, let's check out Jamie. We are now 13 days till the draft.
Yeah.
Jamie's NFL mock draft 4.0.
All right, let's get started with the first pick. The Panthers on the clock.
With the first pick in the NFL draft, the Carolina Panthers select.
I actually didn't think I was going to switch these guys up at all. I thought I was going to have C.J. Stroud first the entire time, but
you changed.
It seems like it's swaying back to Bryce Young again. I don't know. It's going to be a game time decision on Thursday of the draft. what I'm leaning.
You're feeling it, though.
Right now, I got Bryce Young going to. I think there's been a little shift, at least in the way it's being talked about and covered. With the second pick.
With the second pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select
C.J. Stroud. I mean, they're going to be the first 2 picks. That's the end of the day.
It's just whatever order
it's
it
just,
is.
Yeah, what order are they going to be in?
It's like Peyton Manning and Leaf.
Yeah, one of those worked out. With the third pick.
With the second pick in the NFL draft.
What he meant was the third pick and the Cardinals.
With the third pick in the NFL draft. The Arizona Cardinals select.
It's okay. The commissioner's got a lot going on. He gets flustered these days. Will Anderson, DN. Again, I don't see this one changing either.
I don't either. I think you're spot on with that. Yeah.
With the fourth pick.
With the fourth pick in the NFL draft, the Indianapolis Colts select
Anthony Richardson, Florida. I think he's like going to be a lock there. Unless they trade, which I don't know why they would. You'd have to be getting a quarterback. I don't know. Maybe Lamar Jackson craziness happens draft
or
night
something weird, yeah.
But it's probably going to be Anthony Richardson. Number 5.
with the fifth pick in the NFL draft, the Seattle Seahawks select.
I'm going to go with a little bit of a rise here. Tyree Wilson. To Seattle. Seems like a Pete Carroll type of guy.
And it's not outlandish.
No, not at all. Not at all. Number 6.
With the sixth pick in the NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select
Christian Gonzalez, cornerback, Oregon.
Seems appropriate. They just traded a corner this week, another veteran
to the
corner.
Falcons, yeah.
Right.
The 7th pick.
With the 7th pick in the NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select
Paris Johnson, offensive tackle, Ohio State. I think they just...
Smart pick.
They got to go offensive line.
Okay.
Number 8. Sorry, Commish.
Pick in the NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons select.
I know they just traded for Jeff Okudah, but I still haven't taken Devin Witherspoon, cornerback from Illinois. I know it's a lot of investment in the D-back position in one offseason, but they were horrible in the secondary last year. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Number 9, Commish.
With the 9th pick in the NFL draft, the Chicago Bears select
Peter Skoronski. Doesn't he just sound like a guy that's at every...
a bear?
Yeah, in every Chicago tavern, just eating some brats, drinking some beers. He feels like a fit there.
Sounds like it sounds like a fat 6th grader.
Yeah. I could see him in the SNL skits with Norm and the boys. All right, with number 10.
All right, come on.
With the 10th pick in the NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select.
Do it, Jamie.
Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, University of Georgia. I think if he's on the board at 10, they're going to do it. There's been, an anonymous NFL exec this past week talking about how he feels like a Howie Roseman type of pick. I read another story. I think it was, it might have been Peter King that said if he's there, don't expect him to get past the Eagles. I just think if he's there.
Too many people are saying it.
And that's the question, is if he goes ahead of the Eagles. I don't think he's getting past 10.
Now, are you drafting him as most talented guy on the board? A need? How do you look at it?
Both.
Yeah?
The question with him, and this is from the guy that runs the Senior Bowl. He's one of the, I'm blanking on the name right now. He says he has a tendency to not give 100% on every play. He takes some plays off occasionally. But I think the talent's too good at 10. It's a need with Javon Hargrave leaving. It's a position you value as a franchise. I think it just kind of checks every box. Slipped because of some off-field stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's a big off-field thing.
But you feel like you have the culture to rein that in, and you've had a good track record of that. So, I just think he makes a lot of sense if he's there.
I'd like that. I like
Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter as your D tackles of the future.
I'd be fine with it.
Worked out well for Georgia.
Yeah,
certainly did.
Cool.
There was talk this week. We talked about it on the show. You weren't with us, Jamie, but the idea of that one of the anonymous NFL execs.
Yeah, I always love those.
Saying that the Georgia players are overrated. Not that they're bad, but they're overrated a bit because of the fact that they all played together.
Okay.
That they're overvalued because of the fact that they all played together.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Nakobe Dean is. To that same point, was he a product of just a great system? I don't think he was.
I don't think so either.
But there's so much talent there on those defensive teams that it's did they kind of rise all boats, I guess is the question. Does a good baseline rise the whole defense where maybe these guys aren't as excellent? We'll see.
I said before that I do not believe I do not believe that the Eagles will pick at 10 or 30. I think they're going to move from both spots. I have a feeling now, though, they may move from 10 to 8, and that the Falcons might trade that pick. Because I think if the Bears are going to be on the clock, if the Falcons are on the clock and Jalen Carter's there, I think Howie goes, because I don't believe Jalen Carter would get by the Bears.
I mean, that'd be a smart pick by the Bears.
And so my guess is Howie would jump. And now that Atlanta's gotten themselves a veteran corner, to move from 8 to 10 would be nothing for them because they know the Bears aren't taking a corner.
Yeah, that was a good trade for the Falcons.
So things work out there.
That's risky, moving up to get a guy with question marks.
Yeah, the question marks, though, are not about talent. They're about...
Some are. Like Jamie said, some are questioning whether he, plays 100% every down. The stuff that you brought up about, Georgia teams being just so good.
And they are.
Interesting. I don't know. I don't know if Howie would do that. Trade up for a...
It does feel like it's a Howie type of move, though. It slips a little bit in the draft, character issue, elite talent.
Yeah.
Position they value. Like, it checks a lot of boxes, I think, for the Eagles.
I love the thought of it a lot.
I don't see how they would not take him.
I don't think they will. I don't think there's any way he gets past them.
If he's there, yeah.
If he's there. But I just don't see.
But I'm getting irrational with my thoughts of offense. I know you're Bijan. You're Bijan'd up.
Well, you know what though? I've leaned off of Bijan.
Look, if they took him, I'd be happy. I just think it's you have a little bit of house money this year if you want to get a little wild. So I don't think it's a typical year in turn. Like if they just had one pick and people were all Bijan'd up at 10, I'd be like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have two picks, it's like, well, all right, I could be swayed.
Like best case scenario would be if they traded back from 10 to say 14, 16, something like that.
And then you draft.
Got some draft capital along with it, and then you get him.
But I got wide receiver dreams at 10. I'm getting irrational.
I asked yesterday about this. Would you ever think about getting a third? I know you would, and I think I think it makes sense.
I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be one of these can't miss guys from this draft. People just kind of forgot about him because he didn't play last year. I think he's can't miss. You throw him in the slot, you have one of the best offenses in the NFL. You can go toe to toe with anyone. Quez Watkins got 65 targets last year. It's not like the kid's not going to have an opportunity to make plays for you.
Yeah.
And if you have that kid on the Quez Watkins route in the Super Bowl, guess what? That's a different Super Bowl.
You guys always talk about the fact that you can read and speak Schefter.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that you guys are really, really good on it. I think Connor grabbed this audio for us, Pat. From our show on Wednesday, Adam Schefter was with us. I went back and was listening to something and then read something and said, wait a minute. Did Adam Schefter tip the Eagles' draft hands? Because I think it sounds like he said something that I could hear Howie saying. Listen to this.
When you talk to people around that Georgia program, they say that one guy, maybe the one guy that kept Jalen Carter really in line was Jordan Davis. And that when he was around Jordan Davis, he was on some of his best behavior. Philly would have that advantage, bringing him to Philly, having Jordan Davis as a guy that could help out there.
Huh. Now, I hate hearing, Bob, like you, I hate hearing that. That a professional, even though he was a college kid at the time, but a guy who is auditioning to advance his professional career has to be kept in line to do the right things. But I got to tell you, that sounds like something Adam heard from something within the Eagles to me.
Yeah, maybe. What concerns me, besides what you said, John, is, okay, well, who's keeping an eye on Jordan Davis?
Well, Jordan Davis doesn't need there's no character issues with Jordan Davis.
I'm not saying that, but you're going to put on a second-year guy that underachieved last year, has to, get better in order to be where this team needs him to be. And now you're going to also put the added responsibility on him of, oh, by the way, keep your eye on this guy too. I can't have that in pro football.
I don't know. Pat, are you reading tea leaves here, or is it too much reading into what Adam Schefter said?
No, I found that little nugget interesting.
I think he heard that, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely think that they feel like the off-the-field issues won't be really an issue in Philly because of that, and also because of the locker room that he'd be entering. It's a very veteran-laden, positive locker room that has a culture already built in. And I think that Howie and company would look at what Schefter said, but also we
can
on
keep
a line
him.
with Brandon Graham, with Fletcher Cox. Yeah, like we can keep this guy in line.
And, I think one of the reasons the locker room is so good is because these players' fathers are rooting for them. They bleed green because their children are playing for the
Jordan
Eagles.
Davis's mother grew up an Eagles fan.
Even though Lane
just-
Johnson grew up in Texas,
she forced her
his
son to the
grandmother
Eagles.
loves the Eagles.
Dallas Goedert was named after the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but now they love the Eagles.
Debatable.
No, it's not. There's no
Dallas
debate.
Goedert's family, it is.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert's family, they're still Cowboy fans.
Not when they let they're more Eagles fans.
He named
They
his son
can be
Dallas.
what they want.
You're tied in for life.
But
with
they're
Cowboys.
still Cowboy fans. They're
How
not.
do you know? How do you know that they're
I think
more
I've seen a
Cowboys
piece on
fans
Dallas-
than they are the Eagles fans?
On a Dallas Eagles broadcast, they've talked about Dallas Goedert's fans still being Cowboy fans.
They're more
You
Eagles
know
fans
that,
than they're
Bob, if you
Cowboys
watch
fans.
the Eagles games, but you
Well, the
watch them.
Goddard's are idiots.
Oh, that's terrible. If they're
Probably lovely people, Bob.
they're probably wonderful people, even though they're from Cowboy land, which is a little bit tough. Can't imagine. Just looking at that one. Hey, you know what's another weird place? Jamie's world. It's very weird.
It's the Draft Report. Let's find out what's in Jamie's world.
No, I'm a mess. I'm hitting wrong buttons left and right. I'm not giving
That's
out
not
good
in
cards.
Jamie's world. That's for certain.
I'll tell you what, my draft stock is falling. Jamie, take it away.
It's
Are you in Pat's world today? That's what I'm wondering.
It's a getaway day for Pat, I guess. The NFL, I understand the product's great and all that, but their new Sunday ticket pricing, what kind of cocky is this?
Wow.
Who the hell's paying $489 for a Sunday ticket for the season with the Red Zone?
You only pay $349 if you pay before July 1st.
Yeah, and you're a YouTube subscriber, then it's $380.
No, it's $349 if you're not a YouTube
Still,
subscriber.
even $349. What does the Red Zone not give you? Like, how many full games are you getting out of that? I think it's such a cocky move by the NFL to set the pricing that high.
Wow.
In their new, all I need is the Red Zone. Like, I
only
watch
$40
Eagles games.
higher.
Yeah, no, my
think
Red
it's
Zone,
$40
I pay
higher.
$6 a month for Red Zone.
Oh, wow.
This would be $29 a month.
Yeah, like that's what. How many full games? Because Thursday night, Monday night, you get. I watch an Eagles game, so that eliminates probably 5 or 6 other games that I'm never going to check out, and then I get the national game and the 4 o'clocks. That's probably the game of the week in most likelihood. So we're talking about like 3 games I could potentially watch.
Wow, you really don't.
I don't see the appeal of it at all.
How
that the
much
Red
do you
Zone,
watch it? Like
I
in,
watched
in
the
a
Red
previous year.
In Sunday, I bring up Red Zone. I put it next to whatever the main game I'm watching. So I get
Then
my
you've got to have it then.
Red Zone, yes, but not the Sunday ticket. The Sunday ticket is way too much money, and I think this is so cocky of the NFL. $400 to watch out of market. The only draw is if you move away from your home market.
I had it for that's in 25.
But you're still going to do it here.
25 years, and I'm absolutely doing it here,
Why?
especially in our business, because I can tell Ron Davis, CPA Group, that that's a business expense.
Okay, for
So
you,
you're able
yes.
to see something.
But I don't know why anyone living out of their home market would pay this.
How about fantasy football people?
Red Zone.
You can't catch up on just on Red Zone. You're only getting one game at a time.
It gives
There's
you the
6
important
games
stuff.
going
Every
on.
score.
Yeah, it gives you
Red
the
Zone
important
gives you
stuff.
every
Yeah, but you
score.
wanna watch
So
your-
yeah, it's absolutely.
I'm trying to
for
save people money out
fantasy.
here. There's no point if you live in. We're talking about like a couple games, a handful of games. It makes no sense to me.
I would do it if my kid was playing for another team.
I bet you would, Bob.
Yeah.
because you love your children.
That's right. More than you guys do.
Yeah.
You guys don't even care.
Bob would buy it if
Feel
one of
bad for
our
your
kids
kids.
was the quarterback of the other team, just
Yeah.
to root for our kid too.
I would. That's right.
For me to get close to pay for a Sunday ticket, you'd have to be talking like $180 to $200 max.
Wow.
I just don't see the appeal of it. It does nothing for me.
Wow, I use it every single week.
I would not.
Especially in the 4 o'clock games.
I
When the
would
Eagles
not.
aren't playing, I use it all the time.
Oh, Red Zone, baby. Give me Scott Hansen all day. It's Sunday ticket. No.
Nobody has tickled your fancy as long as I've known you as Scott Hansen.
He's a great man.
You tickled what?
Yeah, tickles his fancy.
Wasn't he a local guy too?
Yeah, he did some
started
NBC,
out on,
yeah. Sports
So,
Philly
I mean,
stuff
he's
back
right
in the
there.
day.
He does it. I think him and we also had DirecTV's version of it. Andrew Siciliano.
And it was cheaper then. It's gone up now with the new YouTube price.
And those two both deserve an Emmy for doing that job. Because it's they do a fantastic job of it.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff.
So that's what's in my world.
You're a little worried
who
about
the hell's
that.
paying $490 for NFL Sunday ticket. Apparently, you, John.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to pay that. But I'm going to pay the $349 before July 1st.
Yeah, a lot of people will forget and not do it, and then
then they're stupid. I can't help if somebody's stupid and doesn't go. I'm going to save
even
$100.
No thanks.
Just
I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah, it does nothing for me.
You're out.
We're talking about so few games.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
How many well, I need to know this. How many subscription services do you sign up for as far as streaming?
We have Disney, Netflix.
Well, Netflix is what, 120 a year or more?
They just raised their prices again, like everybody.
180 a year?
Yeah, less than that probably. Probably 150ish.
Okay. HBO Max, we just paid yesterday $109.
I share
for a year.
I share a password with some good friends.
Okay, well then this is what you're doing. Now, can't you, Pat? Can't you share your password on YouTube?
On YouTube TV, you can give YouTube
family
TV
members
to 5 people.
Yeah.
Okay, so you and Pat could go in on this, and it would cost you half of what you were just complaining about.
Still, I don't think I'd want to pay that.
You, Pat, and Connor could pay a third.
You could get 5 people and pay up
Cooney,
to 1/5.
Right. I mean,
I think that's where we're going.
But
here,
I guess
Jamie.
my point is, I don't see it worth anything.
Hey, wait a minute. Now you're being ridiculous.
Well, no, think about it. I get
there are lousy. Sometimes we get lousy games here.
Yeah, but Thursday night and Monday night, there's no other option typically. So that's out. The Eagles
Sunday,
play
Eagles.
Yeah, like that's taking away one of the 2 blocks of games.
Now the only thing I do is Eagles game. Red Zone is my commercial flip.
Oh, see, I bring up the second TV and just I'm full.
See,
Scott
I
Hansen.
do not. I do not on that.
Yeah, Scott Hansen isn't second to anybody in Jamie's book.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Big fan of Scott Hansen.
Yeah.
Sounds a little.
Parents love him too.
A little uncomfortable.
Does he pee under that desk? I gotta know.
They have to.
Yeah, you have asked that many times.
Yeah. Got it, right?
They have to.
They don't have commercials at all. It's not.
There's no commercials.
There's something though, isn't there?
No.
Don't they go live to a game sometime and they'll do a couple of downs? That's what they'll do.
Well, that's what they'll do. They'll give them
like Cincinnati's inside the 20. I got to take a pee. Yeah.
But you have to be ready to say something.
Yeah.
Because if the play happens, they go, "That's a touchdown," and now we're going to go to Boston.
He's got a little catheter under that desk.
You hear the flush.
Like
you hear somebody
like Frank Drebin in Naked Gun.
With the microphone on
and the microphone in the bathroom.
And the dribble. There's a little bit. So 9 o'clock hour of the John Kincade Show is brought to you by the Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. And for details, go to Bagster.com. So, Jamie, you talk about this. Now you've got me intrigued. The idea of the plus 300, is it, with the BetParks app on the sweep?
Yeah, Sixers sweep boosted to plus 300. I think it was plus 220 originally, and they got the promo going on for plus 300. I think it's certainly on the table.
They've been up 3 games to none the last 2 years.
They do really well in quarterfinals in the Embiid era. Like, you know, they not that means anything.
They win that first round.
But they usually do it convincingly.
Yeah, except if they're in a bubble.
Yeah, and Ben Simmons is hurt, and Joel Embiid is wearing hazmat suits down there and clearly uncomfortable in the situation.
I forgot about that.
It was hilarious.
When wearing the hazmat?
Yeah.
You think that was a joke, right?
No, I think there was some truth to it, and I think his humorous nature made it into a bigger joke. But I bet part of him was a little bugged out.
Yeah. Well, he got on the plane that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remember Jimmy Butler was dribbling in his room.
Yeah, and that's where his coffee company was born. He started selling coffee to all the NBA players.
And he may have been dribbling something else, too, from some of the rumors that he was quite active at the Grand Floridian.
Good for him.
They were living good at the Grand Floridian.
I bet they were. They had the water parks closed down for themselves.
Yeah. Got to go out fishing.
Grand Floridian pool, not very good.
No?
Nah, it's sort of just a bland pool. One of those ones you don't have like the volcano slide.
That damn Disney World commercial got Skylar the other day, and she looked at me and she said, "Dad, can we go to Disney World?" And I was like,
"Did she? Wait a minute, that was the Addie.
Book it yet,
wait a minute,
or
she
a couple
uses,
of years.
She uses the Addie voice.
Yeah.
It's the baby Addie voice.
Yeah,
yeah. I caught on. Baby Addie voice.
It was a little bit. Would you root for Addie and for Skylar to be able to go to Disney World, Bob? Are you rooting for that?
See, you got the level of parenthood that you haven't reached yet. I'm disappointed in all of you.
I want strollers to not be on the table when we go.
Never did Disney with Oh, wait. Jenna was young enough one time that she
I don't
want to
deal with that.
Oh, that'd be strollers is a pain in the butt.
You know what's worse? when you get down there one time and at the last minute, your father-in-law says, yeah, I need you to push me around in a wheelchair this week.
Oh, no.
Yeah, before they had the little carts. And okay.
Oh, no.
So.
And the little carts now. I will give Disney credit for one thing, though. The little carts they've changed the rules. Because you had people cheating all the time now. That they were using the carts to have somebody get to the front of the line. And now you have to have a medical reason to be on one of those carts. So you can't just be like, I'm too lazy to walk around the park.
Yeah.
You don't get to cut the line anymore. So that way kids who are in wheelchairs and people who are really disabled have it. So now they're getting the opportunity, which they always deserved. Because people were using those little carts to get around and cheat in the system. Cutting it big time.
Those lines are long.
Jamie's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Now I'm really not going.
I'll just fall off the roof before our trip,
and
break
then
a
it'll
leg.
work hours.
I mean, if it saves hours off your week.
Yeah, but you don't.
A controlled break.
It's still, you're not driving around on one of those little wagons. You're not.
Stick your piety up your ass.
You are not doing that. Tell me you're not.
I could see Jamie like breaking a foot and saying, "Hey, let's go to Disney."
Walking boot.
Yeah, I could see.
Give me that cart. Let's get to the front of the line, kids.
I could see him doing that.
That's good fatherhood right there.
Joey Merton says he agrees with Jamie. All you need is red zone. There's only so much you can watch.
Well, Joey Merton, I'm glad. Joey Merton was but he was absentee on the last discussion, Bob.
Well, it's
so
because
if
my
Joey's not
friend Lenny, I think Joey's a little hesitant to go up against Lenny in this type of thing.
Oh, is there a dynamic
there's
in
some
the friendship?
territorial things here. Yeah,
South Jersey beef.
It's it can get ugly.
Ooh.
Yeah, it could get ugly.
Is this Cam Catholic versus Paul VI? Like,
no, it's Cam the Catholic on Cam the Catholic.
Ooh.
Yeah, Pensauken on Pensauken. Yeah, but it's a little territorial there.
Sammy wants to know if the cuz has one of those carts right now as he's going on.
Man.
Can you?
I saw that boot yesterday, man. That thing's big.
It is. It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like up to his knees.
I cannot. There ain't any way that you would see Anthony Gargano riding around on one of those little carts.
I don't see him as a Disney guy in general.
Yeah, I'd see him like the lines are all coming in and the cart going out.
That is great. He's picturing Anthony driving around.
What do you say, Mick?
On one of the little carts. Hey, Mick. How you doing?
What's up, Duck?
Cutting to the front of the line.
I would watch a live stream of Anthony going around and like meeting all the characters. It would be very enjoyable. I would enjoy that.
Or doing Star Wars.
I want to
hand over my meatballs.
Yeah, we could do that. I can't wait to hear Anthony chime in on this stupid discussion today about rooting for your kid. And because he's going to have Anthony's going to have an answer to this question.
Oh, absolutely.
Damn straight he won't. He's going to be on my side. Guarantee it.
He'll agree that it would suck for those two games.
No, that it would suck. He's going to agree with us.
And it was kind of fake fandom.
That it would be fake.
That you do but it's fake.
No. Anthony is all in with me on this.
Nah, it's not.
We're going to find
real.
out.
Yes.
Hey, we're heading into the final stretch of the morning, presented by Stretch Zone. If you want to relieve sore muscles, increase your flexibility and range of motion, book your free 30-minute stretch session today at StretchZone.com. I got a stretch scheduled for this afternoon, and I can't wait for it. It's Stretch Zone. You are going to absolutely love it. We got Sixers Nets preview and more. John Kincade Show here on It's the 9 o'clock hour of the John Kincade Show on a Friday. And you know what that means? It's been a long, hard week. And you may be sort of mailing it in at the end of the week at some point. You're not giving it your all.
Or somebody's a little mad because they made other coworkers feel like they're dads.
Oh.
Because they're sports fans. So they want to tell their coworkers something.
You know, what do you want to tell them, Pat?
I want to tell them to stick it.
Shove it. That's what you
Pop
do.
it.
There you go. 97.5 The Fanatic. Where, by the way, Henderson's expert plumbers are available when you need them. 24-hour emergency plumbing solutions. They arrive in their fully stocked trucks the same day guaranteed, or it's free. Book at HendersonEasyBook.com. Just a quick shout-out to the doctors at Penn this morning. Appreciate it. Take good care of my nephew, Chris, who is undergoing surgery for his ruptured Achilles.
Oh, good luck, Chris.
He ruptured his Achilles.
Are you serious?
Playing pickup basketball last week in a league.
How old is he?
So I warned, he's Tunis and Connor's age.
Okay.
Man.
So I warned Tunis and Connor that this kind of stuff can happen.
Yeah.
Because he is at surgery this morning at Penn. Chris Amicone.
That's when I fell in love
Hopefully he's
with
being well
golf.
taken care of.
Because I realized it was like the one thing I could still do and not really hurt myself.
Can you imagine that one?
Because, even like the softball injuries, nothing serious, but like,
The Harry Hard-on injuries get a little...
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Harry Hard-on, let's bring up Connor for a little bit if we can. So
Yes,
there's two new things that he has thrown out there. One is he thinks
let's air out our dirty laundry.
Yeah, this isn't bad. Hey, it's
No, I don't think this one's bad at all.
He thinks he can. It's probably not. He says he could own. Was owned the word he used?
No, I think he just said beat
LeBron James consistently.
What?
In beer pong.
Now, this is where LeBron not going to college hurts him.
It does.
He's probably not a light beer guy.
Probably
Connor
not.
LeBron James is not a beer drinker.
No, he's a fancy red wine
If you
man.
watch his fancy red wine, and he is brown liquors.
Yeah, okay.
Because I listen to
so you do have to account that he's drinking the light beer.
But he's not drinking, but he's not doing...
And his hands are large and ping pong ball small. So the hand size is actually...
Yeah, but you only really use your fingers when you throw a ping pong ball. It's not like it's coming out the palm of your hand.
I think it's a good match.
You do?
Because I think LeBron will eventually figure it out, but Connor has the early advantage.
It's not rocket science. It's not hard. Throw the ball in the cup. The guy's made a living of throwing the ball in the hoop.
Exactly. So once he clicks, he'll be on.
Okay, so what else is Connor?
So the other one was,
I think he's got
first
a
of all,
shot
he
there.
started something with saying that who was it? Him and Brendan
and Mike
Vito or could be better base runners than the Phillies right now?
No, they came to the conclusion that no, they couldn't be, but they debated if they could.
That they could make smarter decisions on the base paths, I believe.
Yeah, but I said, look, two of you three guys are getting thrown out from center field on a ground ball, so I don't see how that makes you a better...
On a single. On a single, they're getting thrown out.
Yeah, from center or left field, they would get thrown out. Yeah, so that does... Then Connor made it to, okay, if I played 162 games for the Phillies and I reached base twice in every game, could I steal 100 bases for the year?
Okay, wait a minute now.
So he would have about 324 stolen base attempts is what we came up with.
So he actually
like
thinks he could get on base twice?
Well, he said it's a given that he gets on base twice. Like we have to give him the base twice, not that he's going to earn it. And then he said he says he could probably steal 100 bases, even if the team knows he's going. And I said, no, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
No, I think he'd get thrown out.
The beer league softball catchers, they really don't have the arms like JT Realmuto has.
Yeah.
Now, he does say he's indestructible. That's what Connor's telling me, too, about his Achilles. I just warned him and Tunis on this because Chris just bought himself new golf clubs.
That stinks.
And was so excited for golf. So excited for a summer of golf ahead of him. Now he's got a summer of rehab and a boot.
Yeah, that sucks.
And everything. So be thinking about that when you're out there.
Yeah, you can't really drive yourself around and do the things you're accustomed to doing.
I am always amazed, though, and it's always baseball guys. I've met, doing this job for 30 years, you meet guys, and I have heard the story If I had $1 for every athlete who, ex-athlete, whoever told me, I was being scouted by these teams, and then I tore up my knee junior year, and I never got drafted. Or you'd always, I've heard more stories from people about, I was heading on trajectory.
It's like the Al Bundy violation.
Yes.
There's 4 city touchdown,
I was
city
close.
championship touchdowns. Scouts were all there.
For Polk High.
Yeah.
By the way, his 73rd birthday yesterday, I think.
Oh, was it?
Or 74th or something for Al Bundy.
Old Ed O'Neill.
But the idea of that is baseball players always believe that they could play professional baseball. I don't know many guys who played high school football who think, I'd be in the NFL. or guys who played high school basketball.
You're probably right.
Like Bob going, okay, I played high school basketball, but I could play in the NBA. Baseball players always braggadocious thinking.
It's probably because
there's
78 rounds of the draft. There's 6 different levels of teams, so it has the widest.
Yeah, but I'm talking about getting to the pros.
And
know,
they
but
struck out Mike Trout.
Yeah, but they think they get drafted into the minors, they can make the pros. So they're warped ways of thinking these.
I have heard how many people who have called this radio station saying that they have either struck out Mike Trout, played against Mike Trout. Our team beat him that day, but played against Mike Trout. These are the ones. Baseball players, there's something about it.
Connor said it's because size isn't as relevant in baseball.
And they don't, but they weren't.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, but the players that are saying these things didn't even sniff playing D1 baseball.
Yeah.
They weren't being looked upon as, they weren't drafted. They weren't being, you weren't really that good. You think you were, not Connor, but you don't think you were that, you think you were that good, but you weren't.
Yeah.
How many times do you think Connor's used the line because size isn't relevant before?
Often.
Got him.
Often. Hey, the 76ers and Nets. Again, once. Sixers up 3-0 last 2 years. If I told you right now, Sixers are up 3-0 against the Nets.
They're sweeping.
So you do think that would be the thing that would say to me, this year's team is different.
Yeah, I think the Nets will, if they're down 0-3, no. They just don't have enough. No.
Yeah, it's funny.
What do you think about that?
I was just talking to Matt Cord. I didn't know that Ben Simmons was sitting on the bench for them. I thought he was gone and out, but he's not.
No, he was on the bench for their final game.
Yeah, Cord said he's been sitting on the bench all this time. So
I wonder if that's mandated.
Could be some extra security down there or something tomorrow.
Like, all right, we know you just want to go home and play video games, but in order to get your paycheck, you got to be here with the team. You got to get paid
for work.
Yeah, very well could be. So we'll see what kind of outfit he's got going on tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to do something to draw attention to himself, because that's what Ben's all about. So, Bob, if it comes to that, you get the Sixers in an opportunity to close out a first round series.
What if they go up 3-0?
They have got 3-0. Last 2 years they've let it slip away, giving up 1 win the year before, 2 wins last year. Do they close it out?
I don't think this Nets team has enough to come back and make anything. Yeah, does it change my mind about where the Sixers are in years past if they close out a 3-0 game as opposed to not? No.
All right, well, what I will tell you is that Milwaukee won the NBA title last year, the Eastern Conference title, 2 years ago, excuse me. They swept Miami. Last year, the Boston Celtics, they had a first-round series, and they swept. I think there could be something absolutely to that when you have the opportunity, they took out Brooklyn last year, by the way, in 4 straight. When the good teams that advance longer in the playoffs, and I've said it before, go to the NBA Finals, the teams that go to the NBA Finals are either in a first round, go on out and do that, are the teams that win in 11 games or less. Like 90% of the time, they're going to play 11 games or less in the first 2 rounds. So it just gives you a little wiggle room. It's more than a trend. I mean, it's since 2000.
Yeah.
Keep it small. By the way, Doc Rivers, the one I always say broke that mold. He played 14 in his championship year. 7-7-7-6.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any situation the Celtics series isn't going at least 6 either way. So if that is something, then yeah, you should probably think about sweeping the Nets.
I mean, I'm just looking at it. It seems like the teams that go, they tend to make quick work of teams that stand in their way. They don't when they're facing a bad team and they've got them down 3-0, they don't tend to let them stick around. Not in the first round. They go out there and they take care of business and say, we're going to make sure. Last year, by the way, the Golden State Warriors won the title. They went 5, and then they went 6, then they went 5, then they went 6. So they went 5-6, 5-6. But they kept the 11 rule in place where they were out there.
And they're getting healthy now. Wiggins has been cleared for game 1, so their full squad is back. They're a little intriguing to me.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday. John was saying
they can't win on the road.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the one where I wonder about them.
That rarely does a seed lower than 3 in the NBA get to a finals.
Yeah,
it might happen this year in the West.
I mean,
you have some really intriguing.
When
teams
you have
that
Klay Thompson saying nobody can beat us when we're full strength, they feel pretty good in that locker room.
Yeah,
when you can't win on the road, though,
that's
Bob. I mean, it's a thing. Isn't
Sixers
it?
went through it.
Yeah, they did. I think it's more of a mental thing than a physical thing. I don't know what it may be. These guys have traveled all their lives. It's not like, that Sixers team that was so bad on the road. It wasn't like they were filled with rookies or guys that hadn't played in the NBA before. Sometimes it's just a thing. Like, you can't put your finger on it. You don't know why. It's just a thing. And it appears that Golden State might have that this year. But if they go out and win a playoff game on the road early on, I could also see them overcoming it real quick. Yeah.
By the way, an interesting number yesterday about Iron Men. Pat, out of the NHL, the Florida Panthers had 6 guys who played all 82 games.
Yeah, they were a little banged up.
And they played all 82, 6 different players. And how many NHL players, what the number one was, it was like 9-1 that NBA players need a day off to NHL players. It was like 9.75 to 1 that an NHL player takes a day off, like a load management or anything, than an NBA
I don't think
player.
Load management flies in the NHL.
I think it's amazing to me, though, that could be those kind of numbers. The 6 guys play 82 hockey games is absurd. It's absurd with the physicality of that game. It's a crazy number, but they had guys, Pat, they couldn't afford to have guys miss.
No, they couldn't. It's a different mindset in hockey as opposed to basketball. I don't know if it's just the body types being so much bigger. They got to protect the knees and whatnot, and I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's definitely a different mindset mentality.
And 2, Florida needed to win every down the stretch, right? They couldn't.
Yeah, they needed to kind of get in.
Yeah, they couldn't even think about taking guys off.
Yeah, I wish I had my old notebook. I'll have to dig it up and show the greatest players of all time in the NBA and how many times they played 80 or more games or 75 or more games. It's ridiculous. It's another copycat thing. Right? We talk about it, styles of play. Everything's copycat. I've had coaches, GMs tell me all throughout different leagues, everything's copycat. Well, when Greg Popovich came up with this load management thing, everybody copycatted it. Back in the day, they copycatted Michael Jordan playing 82 games for 10 straight years. Well, all the biggest stars wanted to do that also. Nobody missed games back then. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, remember the big guy for the Cavaliers? Had foot problems that they thought might have been career-ending, all of that.
Same foot problems as Embiid.
Yeah, 7 times.
Same one?
Yeah, the exact same one.
Actually, but it was in the middle of his career, right?
Yeah, it was. But when Embiid got injured, people pointed to Ilgauskas as well, look, he had the same issue, and he ended up having a great career.
So off the top of my head, after he had those issues, he went 7 years with playing 75 or more games. Something crazy like that. That's what everybody did.
It's I don't understand it, and people who try to make for it saying, yeah, well, it's really hard to be able to do that. Come on now, it's just new age. We now don't want it. They don't want to do it. And 2, they had a discussion on Malika Andrews' show, I guess NBA Today, and they talked about, well, should the NBA consider a 72-game schedule, going to try to combat this load management thing?
No, because then people will just take off more.
They said they'd take off. That's all they would do. They'd make up another excuse.
They set the parameter now for the the postseason award of you have to play, what is it, a minimum of 65 games. Yeah. So they're trying to combat it that way. I don't think that's really going to do much.
No. Well, the one thing is that I've said it before, some fan, it's going to happen, is going to bring the class action lawsuit. and they're going to say the amount of NBA teams, 23 NBA teams, do premium pricing based on the opponent coming into their building.
Yeah.
Sixers are one of them.
And some fan is going to create the class action lawsuit, and they will win.
No.
It's false advertising.
I can't imagine they're going to win.
I bet they'll. It'll be
I'm
settled.
a judge. I
No,
say,
it'll be
well, then
settled.
don't go.
It's going to be settled. They will walk away with money.
If I'm the NBA, I'm not settling that.
You wouldn't settle that at all?
You know the risk that you're taking when you buy a ticket that a player could be injured. You're opening up Pandora's box and a can of worms that you're not ready to close. I mean,
yeah, it's like when you hurt yourself golfing, you assume risk when you go out there and play. It's like you assume risk in purchasing the ticket that said player will play.
Or purchasing a house on a golf course that might get hit by a stray golf ball, Jamie.
Ooh, I hit one real hard, Bobby.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you ever break a window?
No, this is my first, house. And it was horrifying. I think I pooped.
You thought something was
I
going to
didn't
happen?
hear anything break, and that was that. Nobody was home.
So you were like, hey.
I'm out.
Are you
What do you do, leave a note?
Bob, I know you're a Blue Bloods fan.
You hit it down the fairway.
But
that's the goal.
But are you a true crime fan?
A true crime? Is that a show?
Like true crime. Like do you like watching
Addie
the
loves
true
that
crime stories? Like on TV and
First
everything like that.
48, like that type of
Yeah. You know why I don't? And this is because I'm a baby. I just want to live in my world where there is no crime.
I want to live in a world where I live my kids and I don't have nightmares. That one?
Yeah, that one, Jay. That was good. Yeah.
just that guy. And I go to PJ's and have
wings
and lunch with the boys.
Yeah.
Hang out with Rock and
Last night I went bowling in the swingers league.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, this is the little trouble.
Make out with my friends' wives.
Well, they are having a.
I now wear velvet.
There was a Dallas private investigator wrote a book back in 2012 claiming that OJ is innocent and I can prove it.
This is a Dallas investigator?
A Dallas private investigator
reviewed
every little bit of the OJ Simpson murder case, of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman.
Is this guy credible? Like he's got a good resume?
He's got an excellent
resume.
resume.
He's not a kook?
No, he's not a kook.
Okay.
He's got an excellent resume.
His mom has a beautiful basement.
And he wrote a book back in 2012 saying, I can prove OJ's innocent and I can prove it. By the way, nothing to do with the Simpson family at all. He has nothing to do with...
I was going to say, is this pro bono work? Just passion projects?
No. And now they are going to make a documentary of this because now they have 11 more years of information.
Does they tease you with like a big hook that is believable?
He says who the killer is.
Really?
And he says that the killer is Jason Simpson, OJ's son. And he says he can prove it. And they're now going to have one of these...
How old was the Jason at the time?
Jason was 20, I believe, 22, something like that. Jason Simpson was 24 at the time of the killing.
Okay.
OJ's first son. He is his parents divorced in 79, and he had a criminal past before the night of the killing. He was diagnosed with rage disorder.
Yikes.
Twice. His private diary, which was then revealed, had thoughts of committing murder.
Oh, boy.
His physical evidence was the black knit Navy watch cap, which the killer left behind, was coated in dog hairs.
OJ didn't have a dog?
OJ did not have a dog.
Is it confirmed Jason had one?
Yes. And the same kind of dog, now they can tell you that the hairs... Same kind of dog.
And who picked up the docuseries?
This is going to be coming on to but Netflix. We'll have this coming in 2024. Jason has no alibi. And O.J. Simpson, before he returned from Chicago, where he went for that golf tournament, and he came back to town, he hired a defense team for his son, not for him.
I mean, I'm going to watch this. I'm hooked.
I'm watching.
I'm hooked.
Yeah, I mean,
I will watch.
Like, this is all such,
it's supposition. It's supposition.
Yeah, but if it's true, I mean, how hard would it have been for the L.A. police and crime unit to prove back then? Like, this isn't any rocket science. Like, it's probably common knowledge that he hired somebody OJ. That's easily foundable. I don't know. I just find it weird that 20-some years later, now it's, or 30 years later.
No. But here's the thing is, he wrote this 11 years ago, and then somebody now, an investigative team, a CSI team, has taken his research from that book, and now they've been doing 11 years of research upon that to back it up.
Well, there's 100% chance I'm watching.
I'm watching that. I'm watching it. Did you watch the movie with Travolta and David Schwimmer and all that? That was done very well.
That was the series on FX.
That was well.
American Crime Story.
Yeah, American Crime. The People versus O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you enjoy that, Pat?
Yeah, it was really good.
I thought it was really
Marsha
good.
Clark. I'm forgetting the actress's name, but she's amazing.
She was
the one who played Marsha Clark.
Yes.
Yeah,
she was much
Sarah Paulson.
Yeah, she's from American Horror Story.
Yeah, she's an awesome actress.
Really good.
You're really, really good.
Except that I can't get past the Siamese twins she played.
I didn't watch that.
In the clown one?
My wife loved American Horror Story.
That gave me the absolute nightmares of the heart. She played Siamese twins.
I'm already bugged out.
And the two of them were, one hated the other.
I did see bits and pieces
Oh, my
of her
God.
watching
She
it,
was
yeah.
amazing. She was fantastic.
That whole that series, the American Crime series, is awesome.
The clown in that one, horrifying.
Yeah,
It was
out.
terrible.
See? In my world, there's no clown.
Do you have any crimes where you question if the right person got arrested?
JFK,
famous
my
guys?
assassination.
I got into Serial, the podcast, at the time.
I know that one's not true.
Adnan Syed, and he's back in the news now because he got released and they're reopening the case in some way. I was into that at the time. It certainly seemed like he wasn't, but I don't know. Those things are fascinating. I've listened to a couple podcasts about it.
John Bonet Ramsey.
That's it.
So the Jean Benet Ramsey one, they actually think that it was her brother.
They do, and then there's been
convinced.
there's I have a lot of questions about that one big time. And the question that I just always come back to is that the killer supposedly wrote that note in the kitchen and wrote it for the ransom money to be the exact number of his bonus from his company.
Let me tell you, that story did a number on me when I was a kid.
As a youth?
Yeah, because I was like...
Did it scare you?
5 or 6.
97.
My mom used to watch Entertainment Tonight, and I'd be in there watching it and just, kind of had it on. And that's all they covered was the Jean Benet Ramsey case. And the basement door was pretty close to my bed, and I was terrified that I was going to be murdered.
Oh, well, that was a story.
Yeah,
that was a story that dominated.
It did a number on me.
Wow.
You okay?
I'm sorry. Yeah,
no,
that's
I'm not.
deep.
That is a scary. That's a scary story.
I never wanted to hug you more than I want to hug you right now.
Thinking you're gonna get murdered.
Okay. Do you believe it? Do you believe? Just an opinion. Do you believe somebody broke into their house and killed John Benet Ramsey?
No.
I do not either.
No.
I absolutely do not believe.
Yeah, I'll go no because you guys all said it.
Because
I don't really remember all the details.
I don't
of that
believe
that
somebody
much.
breaks into a house on Christmas night and sits at the table.
Yeah.
And writes a note, like a ransom note for a kid. So what were they doing? The hand was over the kid's mouth, and they're writing nothing
Did they
made sense
find
about
her
that kid.
ever?
Yeah, in the house.
She was
found
found
her
dead in the house.
Yeah,
okay.
In the basement.
And it was too much with that case. That's another one though that just sort of went by the wayside.
Yeah, I just watched the Murdaugh Netflix series.
Boy, they're
did
bad
you?
people. Bad. That's a bad.
Really,
family.
I got to.
Watching
Donna watched the first one.
The HBO one on that because the HBO.
There's 2, yeah.
that came out first. I was bored.
Now, Pat, with no true. Now, with something like that,
and I love true crime stuff, but maybe I got to check out the Netflix one.
there is no spoiler alert on a story like the Murdaughs, though.
I mean,
right?
I'd like you to know.
I didn't know the
No, but I
details
mean,
of the case
I don't know
much.
anything about it.
Yeah, I
You
don't know
didn't
much
know
about
anything
it
about
either.
it either?
No.
No.
And then there's several that are tied to them.
So there's a
Right,
podcast.
there's several.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a
Shady.
true crime podcast that I love called Mr. Ballin. The guy's actually from Philadelphia.
Who's that?
It's some former Green Beret
Okay.
who just happens to live in Philadelphia, but he started a YouTube channel where he went into true crime stories, and then he basically took the audio and just put it on a podcast form, and you could find it on Amazon Music. But it's really good, and they're like half hour, 45 minutes. So when I'm driving home from the rink, I'll listen to an episode, and for that, like it's wild that all these stories that he finds. But what I'll end up doing is I never look up what the people look like until afterwards.
Is there a reason you don't want to see them?
Find out. No, I kind of like to have the story in my head and then find out what they look like. But with the Murdaugh thing, with making a murderer, like I can't look up the ending of it until I'm done with actually watching the story or listening to it. I'll never look up the ending of it.
What did you think of the making a murder thing?
Didn't know if he did it, but don't think he's a good guy.
I think he did it.
Like I think they made it out to be like he was this really sympathetic person and all that. I don't know if he got screwed by the cops, but he's guilty of something.
I think he did it.
I think they just glossed over the whole like he's like lighting cats on fire. Like, oh yeah, that's what kids do.
Yeah.
It was like, nah, like I don't think he's a good dude.
I couldn't watch I got an episode and a half into a Dahmer one.
I watched
Couldn't watch it.
That actually was pretty good.
Episode and a half in, and I was like, no.
It was creepy.
Can't watch. A little too gruesome.
It was
for me.
Well, and you were eating steak at the time.
Oh,
I ruined it for you, right?
And it was tough.
Yeah,
it was very tough. It wasn't tender. Bob,
you didn't want it bloody?
No cookie with Cooney.
No,
on that one.
No.
Hey, experience the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach this Sunday, April 16th, 3 o'clock Eastern Live on NBC and Peacock. Watch the fastest cars and the boldest drivers fight to the finish line. So tomorrow morning, you wake up with Jamie and Pat. Well, you don't wake up with them.
You could.
You listen to them.
It's bacon cake, right? Is
Yeah,
that what we're
bacon cake
Is that
tomorrow.
where we're at now?
Well, 3 times.
And let's not just dismiss the whole waking up with us. If you pay the right price, we can have a sleepover.
We could do that a benefit for the AACR or something.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's playoff basketball, and there's a lot of reason to be excited for the Sixers.
Well, Pat and I at least had sex one time.
That's true.
We're not above it.
I mean, I do think there's a malaise with the Sixers right now in town, and I do think it's a little unfair.
Do you think it's a malaise, or do you just think it's that people are
Well, I think the malaise
cautiously
is that people expect them to go out in the second round like they've always done. This isn't the same team of the past, so I don't know if you can hold them to the same sins of the past.
If I set right now, over under, the Sixers will win 10.5 playoff games this year.
I'll go over.
Yeah, so will I. I'll go over.
I'll go over too.
I'm going to go over also.
Oh, we're in trouble.
That sounds really so homerish.
Oh, yeah. No, I think
10.5.
My gut tells me they're going to give the Celtics hell.
Well, that means they beat the Celtics. If they get to 10.5, they have to win 2 series.
Yeah, and if they do
have
that,
to at least force a 7th game. Then
I'll be real cocky against the Bucks if they beat the Celtics. I'll tell you that, because I think if that's the hurdle they got to get past. It's not the Eastern Conference Final hurdle. It's beating the Boston Celtics in the second round.
And the best Jamie is a cocky Jamie.
And
we've often said that, yeah.
And then right after,
I'm a big Woody.
right after the bacon cake.
Yeah, I guess
tomorrow.
we're baking cake.
Bacon
now.
cake
Yeah.
tomorrow. Then it'll be Devon and Bob.
Yeah.
Who will both be happy. You know they're both going to be baked for this one. It's Sixers basketball.
Yeah, look at him now.
Bobby's already
Stoned
glazed over. And he'll be rooting for, and you can get Devon will be, Devon, I will promise you, is rooting for the Sixers tomorrow to win. He wants the Sixers to win.
Yes.
He is rooting for his cousin to have an amazing series, but he wants the Sixers to win.
Mikhail can have 40 every game, and the Sixers will still win. He might.
Yeah,
I think
he really might.
Yeah, and he might, right.
Who averages more points a game in this series?
Joel.
Joel
or Mikhail?
I'll take Joel.
Joel.
It's a good one.
It is a good number.
It's pretty good.
That'd be a good prop bet for the Daily Odds Pod.
Yeah.
Maybe put that one out.
Hypothetical.
I think it would be a great one. So tomorrow you've got the guys getting you ready for the Sixers.
At Bet Parks Racing Sportsbook inside the Chicky and Pete's in Malvern, 9 to 12.
It is awesome. You can go see Anthony and Chunas there today, right?
Yes. Well, Chunas is out.
Chunas is out.
Yeah, Coop's got the little ear infection.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
That's because his parents were out yesterday.
Yeah,
Say they were out while they were out partying.
See?
Yeah.
Their kid got sick.
Do I have to teach everybody here how to be a parent?
Yes.
Bob,
There's no handbook. They don't give you one.
Bob, just root for your kids.
I'll write one.
That's all. the Cooney handbook.
I
Just
love
root
my
for your
kids more than you love yours.
Yes.
A book by Bob Cooney.
Bob Cooney.
I like that.
Who writes the foreword? Rock, Glenn? who
One of my kids, of course.
Joey Merton. Who gets to write?
Bobby was an English major. Have him write
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, we have so much coming your way next week. We'll look forward to talking to you. Hopefully the Phillies get things turned around this weekend, too. Support life-saving cancer research. Join us. Support the AACR today. 97.5thefanatic.com/AACR. Our friends at Window Nation, because cancer research saves lives. AACR is always great. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Monday. We'll talk to you then on the John Kincade Show.